that Bella and the baby?
That better?
Oh, it's turned all the way
live.
down.
Oh, hey!
I can't hear myself. You turned it down.
Did I turn it down?
Yes, I can't
Okay.
hear it.
Oh.
Hey, people.
Oh, no, because, hey, good evening. I'm Babz
So, and-
Rawls-ivy.
And Markeshia Ricks.
Michelle Turner.
We're the Mams, but we're hosting election night for y'all. What's happening?
It's kind of an inauspicious start, wasn't it?
Yeah, Like who? What?
This is going to be par for the course, people. Give it the program.
If you know us, you know what this is going to be like.
And ain't a bit of liquor in here.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
It is a all water night.
It is a
people.
sober election.
It's a sober election night.
These are sobering times, though.
Indeed. This is not a night to drink,
Unless-
if you will.
well,
I mean, maybe after the results.
Yes,
are in,
yes.
Some candidates will definitely be drinking. Some
there
for
will
good
be
times,
something at there.
some for bad times.
So you're listening to Election Night live on WNHH with your host. I'm Babz Rawls-ivy.
I'm Markeshia Ricks.
Michelle Turner.
And Michelle Turner.
So every 10 minutes, we're going to give you an update of what's happening. We got boots on the ground all over the state to
Mhm.
give you election coverage in a way that only sisters can give it to you.
The only way you want sisters to
That's
give
right.
it to
The only
you.
way you
Oh.
want sisters to give it to you.
I'm Harry Droz, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
We got Harry Droz on the
Without-
ones and twos, and threes and fours.
Wait,
None of this
and
would be
Tova.
possible without Harry
At
Droz.
You know, somebody's calling in already.
Oh,
really?
oh. Wait,
We-
wait, wait.
Yes.
We're not gonna take calls right now.
That's right, because you
Okay.
know Harry will gatekeep the
You
know
mess
what it
out of this.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
Tova is his right hand tonight, and she's sitting shotgun with him. And next to her is our
Another
girl
phone
Ife,
Are people
providing
calling in
more
already?
moral support.
And if you're keeping your eye on the New Haven Independent website at newhavenindependent.org, we have up the New Haven mayor election results page. So as the numbers start to pour in once
Okay,
the polls
we
close.
actually have a call from Roxana.
Okay.
Roxana's like,
Hey,
I'm ready.
Roxana.
All right, we're gonna put it up right now.
All
Well, we
right.
gotta tell folks who she is, right?
So Roxana is running for the
See, we already
the
have somebody
school
calling
board of education in Hamden, and I don't think she has an opposing candidate, but
Hey.
she still had to get out there, put boots on the ground, and introduce herself to the Hamden community.
That's how you have to do it.
That's how I have to do it, and she had the cutest signs.
And she's probably one of the very few people of color in years to run for that
I
seat.
know it. I know it.
Because when I was in Hamden, I think those were probably the last 3 to 4 folks.
You know, let Hamden
And there
tell
might
it.
have been somebody in the 80s.
You let Hamden tell it. Ain't no black people in Hamden.
Well, the way I
Well.
hear people are moving quickly.
Hey, Roxana, how are you?
Hi, Roxana.
I'm well and good and cold.
Uh-oh.
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 Tell us why you're cold. What's going on?
Been outside all day long.
Wow. What's the turnout looking at like there?
It's looking. People are coming out. You know, some of the polls they said that the numbers were way more than usual. So
Oh, okay,
people are coming
good.
out, which is good.
So have you been at the polls all day?
I have. I've been going from poll to poll. So yeah, starting at 6:00 this morning.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah. So
Well,
my
you know,
poll
the
is full.
Republican guy running for mayor gave you a good shout out on Paul Bassett's show the other day.
Oh, did he?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
he you know, I was
Mhm.
I was a little enamored of him because he was making real sense. I was stunned.
A Republican making sense? Whoa.
I was freaked out because I was like, I'm almost kind of digging this conversation. But he said some really nice things about you and how you are needed on that board of education in Hamden.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people are just looking for some new voices.
Mm-hmm.
And I said voices because you know this is 1 year, but we gotta keep putting some new folks in there. You know, I think there's been some folks have been there for a while, and it seems like some families are not pleased with the outcome of the work that they're doing. So
Uh-huh.
I'm ready. I'm fired up and ready to go.
All
Get
right.
some things done. There's been so many issues, just even when my kids were in school. And when I talk to people who grew up here, they, you know, a lot of times they say, "Oh, that's just how it's always been," and I'm like, "Well, it's time to change it," you know.
So, Roxanne, tell us one of the major things you seek to change. by being on that
Mhm.
board of ed.
Right, right. Well, I think underneath so many of the issues are really issues of diversity. And I know that word is just, it's used so haphazardly, but right now Hampton is going through a redistricting because the state has said that our schools are not balanced racially. And so what's interesting, the state's version of what's diverse is not, it doesn't fit my ideal of what's diverse. So what has happened is like one of our schools that actually had probably the most diversity in it was considered unbalanced because there weren't enough white kids.
Was that Helen Street?
No, that one was Shepherd Glen.
Okay.
And, but then a school like Spring Glen, where there's a large number of white students, was not considered imbalanced. And I think that has everything to do with how the state defines diversity. They define it in a very binary way where it's minority and majority.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not white, you're minority. So they lump you all together.
Mm-hmm.
So if your numbers, even though it might be Japanese, Jamaican, Ghanaian, Australian, Aboriginal, you all are minorities. So if you have that kind of diversity and it outnumbers the white population by a certain percentage, then you're considered not diverse, even though there's so much diversity in there. So like at Shepherd Glen, there were 37 languages spoken there.
Wow.
But they were,
so they're gonna have somebody's gonna have to go back at the state level and fix that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's got to be repaired.
It does, because that, so now we have to go through this redistricting. So that's one level in terms of just getting the state to examine how they define diversity. But then the next level is, since we are restructuring, this is the prime time for us to talk about, well, what is true diversity? Because just redrawing lines and counting how many students are of color and how many are white, that does not give you a diverse system, especially when the overwhelming majority of the teachers are white and the overwhelming majority of the administrators are white and the culture of the schools is white. And what I mean by that is, things like what plays do you put on? What music is played at the dances? Do you get to have dances? The ways that black kids are, kind of policed more than white students. Those kinds of things make up the culture. What are you reading in literature class?
Well, it sounds like you got this underhand. So we're gonna move right along because we got to talk to some other folks around the state. But I think you're gonna call us back later after you get some real numbers.
Oh, sounds good.
All right. So enjoy your hot toddy.
Stay warm.
And we will talk to you in a bit.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, Roxana.
You want me to just call in?
Yeah, we got folks manning the phones. We got you.
All right. All right, then.
Thank you. All right, my love. Thank you. Oh man, she's gonna be great for Hampton.
And the thing is, they've been screaming about this for years in Hampton. I'm a Hampton kid.
I was gonna say you are a Hampton kid.
Excuse me. So
Graduate
I know
of Hampton High.
Yeah, I'm a graduate of Hampton High from Newhall Street School. Michael J. Whalen.
My sister
Hampton
went to Whalen.
High.
My sister got bused to Whalen. My sister was one of the kids that was bused from Church Street South to Hampton. So she went to Michael J. Whalen, and then she went to what's the next thing? What's after Michael J. Whalen?
Hampton High.
No, she went to Eli Whitney after that. So.
Okay, so yeah, she made the choice.
Yeah.
This is something they've been screaming about for years. So hopefully with a more diverse board, they can finally work it out in the 21st century.
And it'd be exciting to see if that board can lead the state in fixing this problem with the diversity kind of calculation.
Yeah.
Because it's almost, I'm from the South, so like it's almost like a reverse problem, which is where Black and brown folks are brought in to integrate a specific school. Now the schools here are like too Black and brown in certain people's opinions, and so we have to. But there's no like, I'm going to reintegrate with white kids and send them all to the Black schools, because that's never the answer.
That's never the
answer.
We
got a bellwether first.
West River.
This is New Haven.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Okay.
So that tells us.
So what is
that
that?
Ward?
That's Ward 23.
Okay.
Taisha Walker's ward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nothing.
But wasn't that a ward that was sort of on the cusp anyway?
I think it went to Tony. It was her.
It was her ward
yeah,
initially.
Yeah.
It went to her, and then it went to Elka. So Well, this is going to be an interesting night. What else is going on, Harry?
That's a big one. Well, we just lost one of the calls because we paused for Paul. But,
Okay.
Call back,
Well,
baby.
Yeah.
we
Call
have
back.
to pause for Paul.
Oh!
Wait a minute.
Paul, you're not going to be in here reporting fake news. What are you doing?
Of course he is.
Paul
That's what he does.
Paul Bass.
Paul Bass, you're not going to be
Paul
reporting
Bass.
fake news
What's
now.
going on? What are you doing,
All
sir?
right, we have Al on the line.
Al. Ooh.
Where's he from?
Oh, okay. I was like,
Al Robinson?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Al Robinson.
How are you tonight?
Where you at, Al Robinson?
I am in Danbury.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, tell us about Danbury.
What's going on?
Well, we have a pretty interesting race here in Danbury between Mayor Mark Boughton and Chris Sotero.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
They both ran for mayor back in 2001, so this is a rematch of the 2001 race 18
Okay.
years later.
Oh, boy.
And we have a
rematches.
pretty competitive race. Unlike previous years where we didn't have a really good Democratic challenger, Chris Sotero has put up a pretty good challenge towards Mark, and he's and for instance, in terms of fundraising, they're pretty much about even in terms of money raised,
Okay.
and which is highly unusual because previous Democratic candidates were not able to even raise more than like $40,000.
And they're both
Which
Dems?
No, Mark Boughton's a Republican.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So yeah, so in terms of like I said before, previous Democratic challengers for Mark Boughton, well, couldn't raise more than like about $40,000. So for someone like Chris Sotero, who has raised, I think, as of now, about $173,000.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a significant amount of money. He actually
Yes, it
matched
is.
Mark basically dollar for dollar. So it shows that this is going to be a very competitive race, just based on the dollars alone. And I think that Chris has made some strides in terms of talking about issues that are on the minds of a lot of voters.
So what are
Yeah, I was
those?
about to say, tell us a little
What
bit
are
about
those issues? Like what's the platform? Like what are people riled up about in Danbury?
Well, one of the biggest issues that Chris has been talking about a lot is our school system and the overcrowding of the school system,
Overarching.
and as well as the underfunding of the school system. If you know about Danbury, Danbury in terms of price per capita, price per child, Danbury pays is ranked like last in terms of per pupil
Spending.
Yeah, payment.
spending.
In the state?
So
Yep.
in the state, yeah, we're
Wow.
169 out of 169.
Wow.
So, and we have a somewhat of a pretty big concern when it comes to overcrowding. It's been a long concern in this area, and this year alone, the projected number of freshmen that went to Danbury High School went way over what was projected by about 350 kids.
Mm.
So there's a lot of concern about the overcrowding of schools. Again, that's been a long-term issue.
So is
As
there
well
only
as
one high school in Danbury, or how many high schools are there in Danbury?
Danbury has one high school. In fact, the high school that we
Okay.
have in Danbury is the biggest high school in the state.
Wow.
Wow.
Which
So
is,
you have the
you know,
biggest high school in the state with the lowest
Amount of per pupil funding.
yeah.
And is
Correct.
that connected to taxes?
It's well, as Chris is saying, is that he's saying this is a failure of the mayor not properly addressing the education, not properly funding education. There's a I don't.
Can
know
you
what
hold
the- I
on
don't know
one
what the-
second?
I
Al,
can-
can you hold on one second? We got some
More results.
some popping results. So
Or
Absolutely.
y'all can keep going while I look
Okay.
them up.
all right,
Okay.
so go ahead, Al. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Chris has been making education a big concern, and again, education in terms of overcrowding, over the lack of space has been a long issue in Danbury for a number of years. So he's tapping into a concern that was on a lot of the minds of the residents. And when you have $173,000 and you put him on a credible challenge, you can really get your message out there. So I think, unlike previous years, he's making Mark Boughton actually earn this seat.
Okay.
So we
So
have a pretty
does he have
competitive
a
race right
chance?
now.
So he has a chance.
Well, I would say this: in 2001, that Chris Sotero lost to Mark Boughton by about 150 votes. And for a city like Danbury, which is the seventh largest city in the state of Connecticut, that's a small margin of victory. I would say that it's going to be close. It's hard to figure out because, again, in previous years, it's hard to judge this because in previous years Mark didn't have a real challenge. So
Okay.
this is the first real challenge to his seat. I would say that it's going to be very close. I think I would give it to Mark. I would give it to Mark by less than 1,500 votes, I would think. But I can see the Democrats making some gains primarily on the city council, maybe making some gains on the Board of Education so that although Mark could win, that his domination on the city council would not be as it is right now. And that can make a big difference in terms of going forward with taxes, spending, educational matters that are on a lot of concerns of people. But, as of previous years, it's just been a rubber stamp for Mark Boughton, and maybe it won't be that way this time around.
All right. Well, thanks, Al, for calling in. Give us a call back when you get some more numbers, because we're trying to cover the whole state tonight, and we're just trying to make sure that we catch up with everybody who's got important races. And it sounds like Danbury's got a hot one going on. So I can't wait to hear that.
This is a hot race. We've been waiting a long time to be competitive in this area, and finally for Democrats, we have a shot of maybe making history. I'm not going to say definitely, but this is a good chance for the Democrats to make some significant gains in this city for the first time in a long time.
That'll be good. Well, keep us posted. Call us back. Thanks.
Thanks, Al.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Take care
Al.
now.
All right. Thank you.
So the New Haven Independent's getting in results as the polls have closed at 8:00. And so far, Justin Elicker is ahead in the mayor's race. He has taken Ward 2, Ward 3, Ward 4, Ward 5. Tony Harp has Ward 7 so far. Elicker has Ward 10, Ward 11B, Ward 13, Ward 15, Ward 16, Ward 17. Ooh, it's close in 23. Tony Harp has Ward 23, and she has Ward 28.
Oh, that's
so we're
my
really
old ward.
Is this your old
Come
ward?
through, Beaver
So Beaver
Hill.
Hill.
Come through, Beaver
Oh,
Hill.
nope, I take that back. I'm sorry, I misread that.
Okay.
Sorry. Cut the celebration.
Markeshia and
My
Paul.
bad.
Okay.
My bad. Now I'm reporting the
Markeshia
fake
Paul.
news. My bad. Elicker has Ward 28. My bad. 327
See
to
what happened?
264.
See what happened?
It was close.
327, 264.
Mhm.
See what happens when I move out the ward?
So happens. They don't
Didn't
have
have
you.
you on the ground.
Well,
Boots on the
look,
ground.
we waiting to. Oh, it doesn't type.
okay.
See, come on,
Hey,
come on.
hey, Paul.
I'm just
Oh,
trying to
money.
report the news.
see, we
I'm
should have
only
had
reading
tequila.
what I'm given.
So Yvonne Jackson says, "Big up to the three sisters."
Hey, Miss
Thank you.
Bob McCormick has turned down his volume on Channel 8 just to hear us.
Yay,
Thank you, Bob.
Yay, all right. Thank you, Bob.
And Malcolm Shaka Sulu says, "Preach."
Shout
Hey,
out to
Malcolm.
Welfare.
Oh, so Mike Harris texted me saying the New Haven Independent with results just went down.
Uh-oh.
So just FYI, I don't know who's manning
Who's
the site.
crashing the site?
That's our
Crashing the
website.
Oh, yeah,
the
it's
Russian-
showing the internal.
Well, we get a lot of traffic
We do.
Russians.
on these
Yeah.
things, and
It's a
it'll
Russian
be back
bot.
up soon.
And we get a lot of traffic, so just hang tight. It's gonna pop back up. But we get a
Russian
lot of
bots.
traffic because we have shouts out to all the boots on the ground, all of the people
Yeah.
who volunteer to help us get results, so we can get results to you as quick as possible. It's a big effort that we put on every election. Shouts out to Chanel Evans, who has been helping us get this done. We've run into some issues. So hey, y'all, if you are seeing a reporter at the polls or someone who's picking up numbers for the New Haven Independent, be kind.
Yeah.
Like they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. It's not your job to keep them from getting the results. That's literally not your job.
Just let them work.
Shouts out to all the people working the polls. We appreciate that you all
We
have been working
appreciate you,
all
yes.
day long.
That's right.
And we want to help further the process of what you're doing by making sure that all of the hard work that you've done today to allow people to vote, to help them in that process, to make sure every vote gets counted.
What's up, Paul?
So, okay.
Okay.
So they're
Okay.
going to email the
Alright.
chart to me because, okay.
Okay.
All right. So his big wards are 25, 26, and 18. Westville and Morris Cove are the ones that supposedly are the Ellicott wards. So I guess that's what we need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, so those are the
And
big ones we're
Ward
waiting
20.
on.
Ward
20 for Tony.
Okay.
New Hallville. Okay.
That's my new
It's your
neighborhood.
new hood.
Come through, New Hallville.
Marvis,
Did Ivy on Ivy get out the
Marvis-
vote effort work?
Marvis Brown wants to know what are Seth Poole's numbers.
Oh.
Well, he's the write-in.
He had
Yeah.
like
Is it
point.
right?
He had
He's
less.
the write-in.
He had
is a
the
write-in.
last time I looked, he had point. He had less than 1% of the vote. Like
So
it was
that
like
means-
point. It wasn't even like
So it's close.
0.5.
The-
It wasn't.
I was getting ready to say, so
Yeah.
the 3 votes that he got.
No, so he's
No,
keeping
he
it
had more than
close.
3.
He's
Him,
keeping it
his
close.
wife, his
10.
mother, his cousin.
It would have been nice though if he could have put on an effort. Like I think it would have been nice to have like 3 candidates really out there
Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed
getting it in.
Seth
Yeah.
Poole when he was in here. So, I mean,
So like if
it's
okay.
hard, but you know,
Yeah.
way more
I
than-
enjoy
I like
a
to
day
do-
at the beach, but what? I
Oh
don't,
Ward
I don't
25.
know what this enjoyment means.
I'm
It
just
means
saying.
that democracy is a process
Oh,
and it works.
yeah,
I think
it
everybody
is.
should have a shot at
I just
democracy.
feel like from
That's what I'm
all the
saying.
candidates,
We
he was the
need-
most realist.
we
Or is that a
need-
word? Realist.
Really, realist. I don't know, Trump devotee.
So
He's the real-
right now with the major awards still out, Justin Ellicott has 67.15% of the vote so far.
Okay.
Okay.
And so we're still waiting on Ward 25, Ward 26, Ward 6 and 8,
We got 2
Uh,
people who voted for Seth Poole.
Ward
yeah.
18.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Are they on the?
so far there were
Yeah,
106
they're both-
people.
They're both asking for his numbers.
Oh.
There were
Like-
106 voters for Seth Poole so far.
106
that's good.
voters.
106 voters.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Oh,
Pretty
that's good.
That's not.
But
That's
I
a-
think
Listen, that's a lot more than I got.
Yeah, but you know what? I think.
I mean, I'm not in this race, but I figure.
But
did
you know,
you tell
if-
people to write you?
I think you have a point, Markeshia, in the respect that it would have been interesting to see him put on
Like
a
if a
real
real
hardy
hard
campaign.
push.
What's up, Paul?
So we got all but 3 wards reporting.
Yep.
2 of the 3 wards are the 2 wards where Justin Ellicott gets by far his biggest vote.
Okay.
He is ahead by more than 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
he-
which wards?
all the wards in the city except for 8, 25, and 18. There are some problems with machines in 18 and 25. Those are wards he's projected to win by another couple of thousand votes
Ooh,
combined.
ouch, ouch, ouch.
Mhm.
8 will be closer, but he's favored to win that. So it's 88 to 4,400.
Yeah.
She's got fewer votes than she got in the primary at this point. That might close up. He's added a couple thousand. So he's going to win by more than 2 to 1 tonight.
Okay. We'll see.
Well, you know,
Thank you, Paul.
we'll wait on the wards.
We'll let everybody.
Listen,
yeah,
This
we'll
is
wait
about
on
letting the
wards to
people
come
vote.
in, yeah.
We'll let all the people
we'll
vote.
let everybody
Letting the
vote
people
before we
speak.
have a.
We let everybody
Do
vote.
we have any other callers?
Is anybody? Listen, we,
We got-
heard from
we've
Hampton
got
and
reporters out
Danbury.
there.
We got
What's happening in Bridgeport?
We got another phone call from Christine in Hartford.
Oh,
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
Christine, are you on?
I am, yes.
Hi.
Hey, Connecticut news junkie girl, what's happening?
Hey,
What's
how
going
are
on in
you?
Hartford?
We are
Good,
good.
good.
What's going on in Hartford?
It was a pretty quiet election day in
What?
Hartford.
Really?
As she
Really?
said,
The fact
was.
Did it
that
stay quiet?
Everybody and their brother was on the ballot.
Yes.
I know y'all
Yes.
had like 20 people or something, right? What
It's
was
sort
that
of like
number?
the Democratic primary for president.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was crazy.
exactly.
Like went to I think Eddie Perez was a petitioning candidate, and he was on row J.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
I didn't even know you could go to row J.
Go row J.
They're like, we're out of alphabet. Stop.
That's like the election in
Row
South
J.
Africa, man.
So it was pretty crazy, and it was a 2-sided ballot, and it was vertical.
What?
Whoa. That's
We in the
nuts.
third world category.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
How does that work? It's like you flip it and then put it in the machine, and the
See,
machine
this
counts
is, look,
it.
we
Or
would have needed rank
Oh.
order voting
can-
for
oh my
that.
God.
because
Y'all
this
needed in
this
Hartford.
almost sounds like, what was that in Florida? The punch cards, the
Oh,
the
shards,
hanging
right?
chads.
Hanging chads.
Chads.
Hanging Chad.
Oh my God!
So who won? Anybody? Does
Is
anybody
there-
break from the herd?
It's like, is there a runoff?
I am like literally just pulling into Bronin's victory party here.
Okay.
And so I am looking for a parking spot, and I'm pretty sure that he won. But you never want to call an election before
Right.
All the
No, we'll
the
leave that for
votes
the
are
regular
tallied
news
and
people.
counted, so.
Christine,
it
what
should
was
be
the young
interesting.
man's name who was a state rep?
Brandon McGee.
Brandon McGee?
Yes, Brandon McGee.
And so
did
how'd he
not
show
make
up?
The ballot. He lost.
He,
the
Yeah,
he
primary.
lost in the
Right.
primary, right?
Yeah, he
Oh,
did not
okay.
petition his
Can you
way
hear
onto
me?
the ballot.
All right.
And so he didn't petition his way onto the ballot.
No, he did not.
Okay.
There
Oh,
were
okay.
other candidates. There were other people. So I actually spoke to the Secretary of State Denise Merrill earlier
Uh-huh.
today, and there were other people in Hartford who created their own parties in order to get ballot access.
Wow.
So aside from
What?
petitioning
You
candidates,
mean I can have my own party, Christine? Nobody
Yeah.
told me that.
You could have had the
You
Black Girl
can.
Magic Party.
and
Yeah.
so she said
The
that
man what?
yeah, this is kind of a problem, and we might have to look at election laws in a way that if we don't make it so easy
Wow.
for people to create their own parties and to get on
Get
ballots.
out of here.
And so how does that work? Is it like 30 days before the primary or after the actual primary happens? Do you know
Well,
the process?
you know how? Remember? Okay, so in 2006, this is what Lieberman did.
Okay.
He created the
Okay.
Connecticut for Lieberman, or Lieber. Yeah, it was
The
Connecticut
Lieberman's
for Lieberman.
party.
It was Lieberman for Connecticut. So he created the third party to get on the ballot.
How did my guy
this
do?
is-
The brother who Corey, was it Brinson?
Oh, Corey Princeton. Yeah. No, I do not know how Corey Princeton did. So I am just getting here. I don't know if we have any results. Hartford is very slow to report their results.
Mm.
So I'm sure
Wonder
we're probably
why.
still waiting for those results from the polling places. How did things go in New Haven today with Election Day registration? Were there lines?
Well,
It sounds like they didn't have the kinds of problems that they've had
They had
historically.
before, yeah.
The
Just because the turnout was lower, you think?
that could be the case, but that's one thing I have not heard today. And in
Yeah.
previous years, that the struggle has been super real here in terms of election day reporting. I think they did some different things in terms of, we'd have to get Paul Bass in here to confirm this, but I think they made some different changes about where registration might have been. I don't know
Mhm.
that it was all pushed to City Hall this year. In previous years, it's all been at City Hall, and maybe they did some registration at the library and then go over to City Hall to vote. But it seems to have gone a lot smoother, and it could be because turnout wasn't quite as robust as they thought it might be. But results have come in really fast. We're only waiting on a handful of major wards that are expected to go to Justin Elliker, and he is very much in the lead.
Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look
good.
at it's looking like
2-1 in the lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
and so one
Uh,
more question for you, Christine.
Sure.
Since it looks like Luke Bronin's going to hold on, what do you think? Given the sheer number of people who wanted to run against him, why do you think he held on?
it's like
Yeah, no,
Survivor,
that's-
man.
Right? Why didn't he get voted off the island?
The island of Hartford.
The island of Hartford. I think that, overall, he was able to save the city from having to file for bankruptcy, and that resonated. There were people who were upset at him for running for governor.
Yeah,
2
I was
years
wondering,
after
was
being
that still a
elected
factor?
the first time?
Yeah.
So there was a lot of animosity about that, and those were the people who ended up supporting the other candidates. But there was no one candidate that they could get behind. So, there were 7 other candidates on the ballot, trying to challenge him, and there really wasn't. There's not a strong effort to do that. The Democratic Party is pretty. It's not as well organized and probably a little bit more fragmented than it has been in past years.
So
I'm
there's no
actually
real
working on a
machine.
story on how the Working Families Party has kind of been stepping in to fill some of this void and
Okay.
to win, take over the minority seats on some of these town councils.
Right, because that's particularly true. What, in Hamden is
Yeah.
that happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Hamden, Bridgeport, Hartford, and West Hartford.
Mm.
Well, I mean, listen, if you like anybody, I mean, we saw the Tea Party do the same thing, right?
Right.
They pool their efforts
Yeah.
and resources into places where they thought they had a real chance, and
And
you
maybe
know.
people are really just hungry for an alternative to the two major parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Believe
mad at
that.
them, but they seem to be everywhere. So we'll
Mhm.
see. Well, thank
Right.
you, Christine. I know you'll call us back when you get some more results. We'll
Yeah.
be here.
I definitely will. I
Thanks,
definitely will.
Christine.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Trying to see if we have any interesting comments.
And just the fact that his ads were blackity black. Ddid you
Whose
see
ads?
Luke
No,
Bronnan's
no, I
ads
didn't
in
see them.
Hartford? They had all black people. It was like, yeah. And I kept waiting, right?
He's like, where's the
When there was a primary, I was like, okay, so where are the white people? Who are the white people he's talking to? He had young black people. He had old black people. He
like,
had,
I'm gonna
I mean,
get
it was
all.
incredible. And I just kept waiting every time I saw an ad.
Listen, he know always better on black.
And then he had people, you know, he had Caribbean people in the
He's like,
ads.
I'm covering
He had
the
Hispanic people.
diaspora.
And it was like, okay, so I guess there's no white voters that he's depending on in Hartford.
Oh.
He's looking at all people of color.
But they've got a huge
Well, you gotta-
Caribbean population,
Mhm,
right?
right.
And a Latin population, and
And
Yeah.
if you can
And that's
turn
who he
those people
spoke to.
out,
yeah, if you can turn those people out, there you go.
you can win an election.
You
Because
can
you
win an
know,
election.
listen.
What's up, Paul Bass?
Any updates?
What's up? Uh oh.
Justin Elicker has beaten Tony Harp. There is only one ward left. It is statistically impossible for her to come even within a 2-to-1 margin. Ward 18, the machine is broken. All of the wards are in.
Is
He's
the
over
machine
10,000
broken?
votes. She's under 5,000.
Mm-hmm.
With the Ward 18 results, it's possible she'll match the numbers she got in the primary. Elicker got about 3,000 more votes than he got in the primary. It's
Okay.
he's the next mayor.
Well,
in Haven.
congratulations. Let me look for some new property.
to our,
You moving
to our
in?
readers, to our readers, our site again, it didn't crash, but I can't get in to report the news.
Oh.
So we're gonna do our best. You heard it here first on Love
All right.
Babz, Love Talk, with Michelle Turner, Markeshia Ricks. If you want to know what happened in elections in Connecticut, the first place to go.
Right,
Right
WNHH.
here, right here. But
Right
I was
here,
gonna
right
say
now.
before you run away, I was gonna ask a question, but you left.
So listen, you all are tuned into WNHH. We are providing election night commentary. You just got the word from Paul Bass that our mayor,
What? Somebody call me.
our mayor Tony Harp
somebody's calling?
has lost to Justin Elicker,
got?
who will be the next mayor for the city of New Haven.
Oh, Christine wanted to know how did election day, same day
It
registration
went
go?
very well. They didn't have that many, about 160. What they did big time was the registrars worked with Yale and got all those doofuses at Yale who wait till the last minute to sign up and they don't know what state they're in.
Ah.
Oh,
They crack the whip. It could be double, triple suspension if they're not careful.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Well, that
Oh,
was
so I guess my other question for Paul when he
Shout out
comes
to them.
back is, what was voter turnout like in New Haven?
Well, yeah. What is voter? What are we looking at?
was
Let's see if
voter
I can
turnout
see
in New
the-
Haven?
All right, so you know what
Was
I'm
it
gonna say,
lower?
right? Elica, you got 2 years, baby. Do your time, but we coming for you. Trust me, we coming. I mean
gonna
that.
be-
So,
coming.
so you know, what do you all think? What do you think was the? Because you know, most people pretty much agree that this election wasn't very much about Justin. It was about Tony Hart.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I have been critical of Tony, just like everybody else has been critical. But my criticism has not been personal in its reach. My
Okay.
criticism has been, missteps with staff and communication. I think that has been for me the biggest minus. I think she's smart, she's credible. She has experience, all those wonderful things that you want. She
In a mayor,
has everything
yeah.
that you want in somebody to lead. I think though, she was surrounded by people who didn't rise up and had their own agendas that did not match her agendas, and that they didn't carry her agenda. And so I just feel like, I think more than anything that the people around her helped lose this election for her.
Yeah, because I think it was hers to lose.
I
Because
Yeah.
as Markeshia said, this was not necessarily about Justin Elicker as much as it was.
mean, Justin Elicker is mediocre. He's not exciting.
This
he doesn't
was
have
about
a plan.
Tony.
He doesn't have anything. He's just white, right? And a man.
This was about Tony.
Oh,
This was
Lord.
about, as you said, not only her missteps, but the fact that her staff around her just did not fulfill.
Yeah.
They did not fulfill. I mean, who advised her to raise taxes 11%.
Well, she talked about that.
She did talk about that.
talked
on
about
I know
that.
she talked about it.
She talked about it, and I don't think it's so much the tax thing as much as I just think.
Well, I think it's a combination of things.
I think
it
the
wasn't
Board
that
of
alone.
Education was
Yes.
was quite problematic, and
Yes.
it wasn't resolved it just lingered, and it was messy, and
Well, I think between the taxes and then folks turning around and getting raises, the bus debacle on top of everything with the Board of Ed, and then, the little mini lawsuits from different staff people that she had to put up with.
That's all par for mayors. I mean, who got sued more than John DeStefano, right? He had a whole full-blown federal kind of thing going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Supreme
He had
Court,
people
right?
mad at him all the time, but yet he managed to win and rally the troops.
Mhm.
I don't know
But
what
that
it
was
is.
because he had the staff.
I personally think that a lot of what people felt about Tony was personality stuff. I think for her, because she's not loud and boisterous, that people sort of, and she's not very
She's not
hugger.
us.
She's not a hugger. Yeah, she ain't us. She's not
She
me.
not us. We all over the place.
That she's not she's not that girl. She's like, hey,
Right.
how y'all doing? She's not
Right.
that.
Even though she gave
The
me a
last few-
little bit of something in these last few. I was
These
like,
last few weeks.
oh,
I must tell you, I've
this is-
enjoyed her on my show.
It was
I
a
enjoyed her
pleasure.
on Joe
I enjoyed
Utley's
watching that.
show. I enjoyed her out in the street. She had been trash talking.
But see,
I was like,
I think
Here's the
what
thing.
people were missing, at least, because we talked a lot about this, and really a lot of these challenges came in this last term. It was a tough last term.
mm-hmm.
It was a tough last term. It was tough in terms of relationships with the state delegation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
trying to get the money to fill the holes, and the
Yeah.
back and forth between the administration and the state delegation, and to like that whole episode of the last term was tough, and managing the optics of that was important. I think we can all agree that there were definitely some lack of management of those optics that really didn't work out in her favor.
Yes.
But
I
on top
agree.
of that,
Yes.
I think
Yes.
the campaign piece was very challenging for
Yeah.
a lot of folk. I think a lot of folk were like, when are we going to hear about Tony Harp's vision, as opposed
Yeah.
to like whatever negative things that she was experiencing from the competing campaign.
Well, it goes
When
back
are we going to
to-
hear about Tony's vision? Like, when are we going to hear about all the, like, whether it's all the things that she's accomplished and where she wanted to go from there? Like, it seemed like she had to spend too much time, she felt, battling certain perceptions. The people who, had decided, I'm done with you, we're not friends anymore, and now it's personal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there was definitely a lot of
Yeah,
that.
it was a lot of that.
It was a lot of that. A lot of people who felt like, you know what, I used to ride for you, never again. Like, you're like, whoa, we just burning this
Yeah.
whole bridge down.
Yeah.
The whole bridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole
Just
bridge.
set the bridge on fire.
But it was optics. It was optics. And we all have had that conversation about
over and over and over.
where were her communications people?
Ugh.
Why wasn't the
Channel 8.
message put out there?
Did Channel 8 call
Boy,
it?
Harry.
Well, Channel 8 has just mentioned that you ladies
Really?
have
What did we
declared
do?
Elika mayor.
So they're recording that. We have reported.
That we have reported.
Channel 8. I'm not. I don't understand.
All right, then now.
All right, Channel 8.
All right, Channel 8. Okay.
But
Okay.
it was optics. Her message for all the things that she did.
Ward 25. Wow.
What?
Elliker won 1,224 votes in that ward. Tony Harp got 207 votes.
Wow.
Okay.
Ouch.
Well, I mean, listen, I will say this.
Seth got 13.
That
Oh, you
that
know-
adds to his 106, right?
People
So
are
he's at
really
what,
people are
117?
really interested about the write-ins.
141. We're still waiting on Ward 3. No, he didn't get any votes in Ward 3.
Were
Sorry.
there any
Sorry.
other write-ins? I don't think so, right?
I don't.
There was one other writing league.
Who was it? Who
I
was
was
it?
trying to save the page where we declare the winner. If Mike Craft, you were still the only site in Connecticut, the only place declaring the winner.
I know. Channel 8. Channel 8 called.
Just
said that.
gave us credit.
Just gave us the credit.
Love that, love that.
Yes. So yeah, congratulations, Justin Elliker, but we coming for you, brother.
Well, you got some work to do.
you listen.
And he's got to
got
be
some
quick,
work to do.
right? Like, and
Yeah.
it's a short amount of time to prove to people Particularly because there are people like sharpening their knives.
Yeah.
Like, woo!
Yeah.
What?
I just, you
Yeah.
know, I don't
They're
see.
coming
Baby
for
shark,
him.
shark,
I
shark, baby shark. Mommy shark.
So like he
Daddy
has a
shark,
lot.
shark,
So you know,
Yeah. You're going to be one turn.
luckily,
One
he's
turn.
luckily he's
'Cause
being
let me-
handed a great city.
Let me tell you
A
something.
city that's in, you know, I would argue great shape. We have a building boom happening.
Yeah, we
So
Those people that
You know-
brought you to this dance
Gentrification.
and you don't get to dance, and you don't dance fast enough for them,
Well,
they gonna
yeah,
get it.
because you got all the heavies, the hot and
So
heavies.
it's gonna be, it's,
You know,
yeah, they waiting. They like,
they have surrounded themselves. You know, they have put themselves around you, put their arms around you. But trust, brother, you gonna have to dance to the
So
music.
do we have any black mayors in this state? Are we
Doesn't
all out?
look like
Are we
it.
all
Doesn't
out?
look like
How
it.
many are there in the nation? Not that
Well, the
many.
nation
well,
is
Atlanta, DC,
yeah,
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
You got to count them
I
on
think
one hand.
there's one in
Someplace
California.
Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
couple in Mississippi.
Birmingham,
Birmingham.
Montgomery had
Birmingham.
Montgomery, Alabama had a historic win this year.
There we go.
First African American mayor in the like 200-year history of the
That's-
whole
whole
city.
That's really good.
So you have a young man in Birmingham who's been mayor. He's on. I guess he'd be headed to second term.
And
Mayor Woodfin.
is
Shouts
there
out to
a
Alabama.
woman in Florida? I thought there was a woman in Florida who got elected last year or the year before.
I don't remember.
But
So yeah, there are
there
black
are still
mayors.
some.
There's still black mayors
Oh,
in
Stockton.
America.
Mike Harris. Mike Harris
City
in
of
Stockton.
Stockton.
Thanks,
Stockton.
Mike Harris.
Thank you, Mike Harris. So you know,
yes, we know it's in
they're still out
California.
but it was really interesting that for a time that there were, you know, a lot of
Yeah.
And
black
that they're
mayors here in
and that
Connecticut.
there's still a basic organization, right?
Yeah.
The black mayors are getting together very soon from across the
Oh yeah.
country.
Yeah.
Well, the Black Mayors Association, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
I do like I think as we think and look forward to the presidential election coming up, you know, listening to what Christine said about the Democratic Party being a bit disorganized and kind of, you know,
a little bit.
Harry's like, I will attest to
Says the
that.
lone Republican in the room.
But
Harry's a Democrat.
I actually am unaffiliated.
I was about to say, are you an independent
Oh,
these days?
Excuse me.
But speaking of independence, of course, we have a large
FDR
independent
Democrat?
population in this city.
Yes.
Democrats have historically relied on New Haven
Yeah.
and other like urban centers to deliver votes.
Uh-huh.
But you know, how do you get people excited about the
you do?
two-party system? Like, you know, how do you get independence to stop being independents and actually commit?
Well,
And
let me,
commit
let,
to
me,
a
let
party.
me tell you something. On this day in 2008, the Obamas went to the White House.
Yes, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That was
yeah.
that was not only that was historic
It was very historic, right?
and amazing and
Is a lot of things.
We miss those days.
Good adjectives
And then we
to
made history
describe
8
that.
years later.
And then
Well, it looks like there are certain people who clearly don't want to go back to those days.
guess I had to dig out my Negro spirituals.
Hey, listen.
Well, we
I-
just watched
I
Harriet.
I want Michelle to throw her hat into the race.
Why do you want Michelle Obama to Harriet Tubman this nation?
Because she's the only one who could win.
Man,
No.
listen.
No.
I
And
want
I don't think
Stacey
she
Abrams
wants it.
could do it.
Oh, I know she doesn't want it. Why would
She
she
doesn't
want that
want it.
job? Okay, what's up,
They were in the
Paul?
White House
What you got? What you
8
got?
years.
Markeshia is fabulous on TV, radio right now. Great writer, but this may be her calling.
Oh.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh.
Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely.
So, do we have any new callers? What's
Any
going
new
on?
callers or people? What are people talking about? Any messages? Any posts on the?
Anything on Bridgeport yet?
Yeah, what's
happening
going on in Bridgeport? All right.
Hey,
Okay.
shout out to the two people in Ife's watch party.
52.
Hey y'all.
And please jump on the website and give us some comments
Yes.
because
Give
I
us
would
some
love
comments.
to read them.
I want to shout out Michael Harris. I want to
Shout
shout
out
out
to Michael
Pete
Harris.
Massetti, a new
He's
host
a new.
on our radio platform.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
And
welcome.
everything. Just want to shout them out because I
Yeah,
see them.
thank you for
I see
watching,
them
guys.
hanging in the, supporting us.
I'm interested in knowing what's going on in Bridgeport because
Yeah.
I really like Maryland more. I think Bridgeport deserves more.
I see what
See
you
how I
did
did
there.
that?
I got the pun.
I
Yeah.
see what you did there.
we got questions. Any older info?
Ooh.
That's a good question, right?
That is a
No.
good
I don't
question.
know
I don't
anybody
see
had any races, right?
No,
Yeah.
Ward
I mean,
25, Adam Marchand and Dennis Sarah Filippi were.
Oh.
And Anifesta, I think Anifesta's Ward 10, I think.
Uh-huh.
She had a Republican challenger.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, these
It's a lone Republican.
Republicans are rolling in like light-skinned brothers.
Wait a minute, y'all. I'm getting like forbidden in terms of the New Haven Independent. What's going on, Kyle?
You don't have permission to access.
It
Oh.
said forbidden.
And Bloomfield has a black mayor, according to
Okay.
one of these people.
Yeah,
here.
that sounds about right.
Madam Mayor Suzette E. Bitham Brown. I don't know.
Huh.
Bitham.
Okay.
What?
Bloomfield.
Oh,
Bloomfield.
Okay.
oh, they have a black mayor.
Yep.
Oh,
So there is one in the state.
okay.
That's interesting. What does it mean to be the only African American mayor in Connecticut these days? I'd love to
I'd like to
talk
have
to that person.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and be like, what's that
She
like?
needs to let us
I
know.
know.
Like what's in
And how many women are running cities and towns? How many
so we're
women?
still
Yeah.
waiting to hear about Aaron Stewart, correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay, the
Okay.
site's back. Woo.
All right, yeah.
Welcome back, New Haven Independent website.
Yeah, I know, because y'all are trolling and trafficking. I know it.
Okay.
What's going
And
on
they're
in
causing it-
Hamden's? What's going on with the mayoral race? Let's see if I can
There's
Yeah,
get
so
some
many
results
people
over there.
looking, it's crashing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
need,
all
we
right.
need some
What's going on?
bandwidth.
We haven't heard
Yeah.
from Chris Peak yet. Is Chris?
We have not. What's going
Yeah,
on?
where's
with
Chris?
Peak?
Just keep hitting refresh on your website.
Okay.
On the website.
If I could ever get into
And it'll
these
come
hands in
back.
election,
It'll come
The
back.
numbers will come up slowly.
The Hart folks are making their way over to the Elks now.
so there
Okay.
should be some live video coming.
Yeah, so
correct?
Coming
there's
very
some live
soon.
video from the Elks.
Yes, we are
You
bringing
can't
you
get no.
on the
The
spot.
only way you could get blacker than the Elks
Information.
is to be at the Knickerbocker.
Yeah,
the-
that's the only other way.
That's
do
the only
do we
other way.
have any Middletown info? Or
No, I don't think we have any
No.
Middletown.
What's
Nothing
going on
yet.
in Waterbury? Harry.
I don't know.
We thought you might give us a tidbit or two, Harry.
I don't know those people.
I don't know.
Please stop.
All right, so we're gonna wait from live video. I guess Tom Brina will make his way. Where's
Yes.
Ellica throwing his party?
Don't know.
All right, get yourself ready to be Game of Thrones next year.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm having this vision of like Justin Elliker dressed up like Khaleesi and flying on a dragon.
Any Hamden numbers?
Oh my gosh, Justin, do you have a dragon? Call me. Questions.
I don't think I'd cast him as Khaleesi. I don't think he's no.
Well, you remember what happened to Khaleesi?
I know.
I didn't even think about that before I said that. Don't hold that against me.
What you say?
It's gonna be on our Facebook page. That's what he said.
Oh, Veronica Douglas. She said Marilyn Moore's what?
Link to Twitter.
Oh, she's
maybe
just supporting her.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's supporting her.
Voter
All right.
turnout in the Democratic primary in Bridgeport was under 20%.
Is that
So-
good? Does that bode well
That doesn't
for?
sound good.
Right. And it's the largest city in Connecticut,
That
correct?
sounds awful.
You know, somebody's got. Somebody's got to have a conversation about this voter turnout because
Yeah, like what's happening?
I
Like
don't-
I
I
feel
don't-
like elections past have been much more robust than this. What is happening?
I don't know what's happening. And is this what Stacey Abrams is trying to do
I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
so, yeah.
around the
But
country?
what she's trying to do around the country is about ballot access. It's about it's about voter suppression, because there's this ongoing narrative primarily pushed by the Republican Party that people are stealing elections. No, people are stealing elections, but it's people who are trying to oppress people who are minorities from
All right,
voting.
we got a
essentially.
call from
So.
Bridgeport. Christine.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Who is this?
Christine.
Christine Josie.
Josie Bartlett.
It's Christine.
Hey,
Bartlett Josie.
Christine.
How's it
Hi,
going?
I'm in East Haven.
Oh,
Okay.
East Haven.
East Haven from red to blue.
Okay. Meaning?
Fantastic.
Who
won
is
in-
running in East Haven?
Foro is the Democratic mayor in East Haven.
Oh.
We've had a Republican mayor for the last 10 years.
Okay.
So who's
So,
the mayor? Who's the new
Who's the
mayor?
mayor?
Joe Caforo.
Joe Caforo.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yep.
All
And
right.
what's
He
going
takes
on?
office in 2 weeks, so
Do-
it's fantastic.
Do you have
Christine,
any?
is he new,
One.
so to speak?
Yeah, he's new in terms of first time on the city council last year, served for 2 years, ran this year. There are 5 districts in East Haven. We
Uh-huh.
won 4 out of 5. The fourth district is where the Republican opponent lives, and that's his base. So it's fantastic.
Do we have any news from Bridgeport?
Oh, I'm Joe Gannon. Yes, I was just on texting them too because I've been there. Joe won every district, except Black Rock, which he's never won before. So, yep. So Joe Gannon won in Bridgeport. Joe Cafaro won in East Haven. I'm also involved with Nancy Rossi in West Haven, waiting for those results, but it looks like Nancy's won in West Haven, and Bloomfield waiting for the results for the entire row A. However, they choose the mayor based on the highest vote getter, so I'm waiting for them to send me.
Okay.
And
what's happening there, and they vote on that.
Okay. And Bloomfield has a black mayor?
Bloomfield has a black female mayor, Jamaican actually.
Oh, shout out to
That's
Jamaicans.
Teresa Brown.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on the results. I couldn't call in earlier because I'm involved in 6 races and numbers are coming in flying all over the place.
Oh, I bet, girl. I know.
Probably running around with like your hair is on fire.
Yeah, because we've been
literally.
talking to the folks in Danbury because they've got a hotly contested.
Yes, so that's a hot race. So I'm waiting for my friends in Danbury. I had one friend running also, waiting for him to text me the numbers. So that was a hot race, and them were hoping to split that seat because the Republican mayor, he's pretty popular.
Okay.
And, a lot of them in
And
Danbury
we've called it
him.
for Justin Elliker here already. He's is like a 2-1 win. So we called it.
What are the chances for the female mayor in Bloomfield? Or is she running this time around? She's not an incumbent, is she?
But what happens in Bloomfield is that the highest vote getter more than likely becomes mayor, but then the 6 council members have to vote on who they want to be mayor.
Oh,
It
wow.
happens in West Hartford. It happens in a number of towns throughout Connecticut where the mayor is not a paid position.
Yes.
But in certain mayors,
wants
even if
that
it's not,
job?
they still tend to have a lot of power.
Is that a
So
volunteer?
That was mayor for the yeah.
Oh, that is.
Wow.
So Teresa Brown happens to be mayor for 2 years, and the 6 council members, newly elected, they have to vote on whether she continues in her leadership as mayor.
Wow.
So they vote on
Do
that.
they usually vote the
Same thing
will of the people, or can they be like, nah?
No, they. So if the person automatically is the highest vote getter,
Yeah.
then yes.
Okay.
But even
Okay.
then, the statute doesn't. You have to decide because sometimes the highest vote getter may not want to be the mayor.
What?
Wow.
What in the?
So what happens in that
Connecticut?
case? It goes to the next person?
It's like
Well,
a
they
pageant.
decide. They vote amongst themselves.
It's like a
They decide.
pageant. What is going on?
That's
First
wild.
runner-up?
You know what? I've lived
So
in
you have to
Connecticut
look at-
5
you
years.
have
This is the
to
first
look
time
at,
I've
like,
known that.
statutes
I was
in
this
those-
many
in
years
those
old.
cities and towns.
I will
But,
tell you
you know-
this. It's been a nice lesson in learning how other municipalities choose their
Municipalities,
leadership.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, it has been really interesting to sort of see from the small towns to the big cities how leadership is chosen and how people sort of go about garnering votes, but still low
And
turnout.
this is really important though in terms of people's knowledge about how these processes work.
Right.
Particularly when it comes to local representation. We always have our eyes focused on the presidential elections and the gubernatorial races. But this is where the rubber meets the road.
And this
if
is what
you
I
didn't
always
know that that's how your mayor is chosen, like, could you imagine?
No, it just
All
dropped.
politics is local. Okay, Christine, call us back in a little bit and let us know what
Let
else
us
you
know
find
what's
out.
going on.
Okay, I'll call you back in about 10 minutes.
Thanks,
Hopefully-
Thanks, Christine.
All right, thank you.
Wow, that was fascinating.
I
I did
never
not.
heard anything like that.
I was this many years old when I learned that. Oh my goodness!
What we
Like,
got? We got some video or something?
What we got?
Well, we were supposed to have video from Hamden, but
Ah.
they went live for about 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Oh,
That's all.
maybe they had to
Wow.
restart it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you know what? I wonder if everybody's so busy Facebook living things
Right.
that it's
Yeah.
super hard to get a
It's
signal.
super hard
Yeah.
to get through.
I know. I always often had that problem when I was out in the field.
Dr.
no.
Kalila Brown Dean has weighed in and said she is enjoying us and she's giggling.
Oh, you should call in. You should call in.
Call in, Kalila.
Call in and give
Call
us your
in.
take. Give us a hot take, girl.
Hey, girl.
Give us a hot
'Cause
take.
I think
Give
she's-
us some identity politics. Come on and plug that book.
But now, with the conversation that we just had, right?
Mhm.
Do you think that has some influence on voter turnout?
You know, I think it depends if people are engaged in the process, right? Like if you actually know those details, then you're probably super engaged in the process. So you have a vested interest in the outcome. You have a great invested interest in who those 6 council members are, right?
Right.
Because ultimately they're going to decide
Yeah.
who your next mayor is, even though you turned out to vote for someone.
Vote for somebody.
And what if the person that you turned out to vote for was like, nah, I was just playing.
Or
that would be crazy.
It's the second runner-up. Nah,
Right, and they was like,
I don't want to do this.
They're like, oh, no.
Never
I ran
mind.
thinking I wasn't going to win. I mean, I was the second runner-up. Yeah. Man, that is the craziest thing I've ever... That was fascinating. Like, really, seriously
But it
fascinating.
just
Okay,
shows
Kalila
you.
cannot call in.
Aw,
Okay.
dang it.
Okay.
You can send us a long text and we'll read it on the air.
On the air. Or you can post something to the New Haven Independent page and Harry will read it.
She has to be
Harry,
neutral.
Chrome isn't responding. Like,
Identity
it's like,
politics. She can talk a
I'm
little
done.
Oh yeah, I could talk
I don't
a
know.
little bit.
I don't know
But
what's happening.
you ladies are rocking. This coverage is so entertaining. That's from Mubaraka.
Oh, thanks, Mubaraka.
Hi, Mubaraka.
We're glad to be entertaining.
Is there anybody entertained enough to bring us some beers? Where is Alicia? Where's
Where
Alicia?
is-
some rhythm beer would be
We
amazing
need some rhythm beer.
right
Where
now.
is
Is Tim
Night.
Cabral? We're
Oh.
putting out the call.
Oh yeah, Kalila
Bat
is
signal.
itching.
She's like, no hot takes tonight. I gotta
She is
process
itching.
it.
She is itching. She is
I gotta
itching.
process it. Whew.
All
So
right.
I would give y'all like commentary and information from the website, but I can't even get on the
You
Chrome.
can't,
because
Like,
it
I'm
has
not-
crashed.
It's like I can't even get on Chrome. It's like not responding at all. So I don't know what that's about, Harry. We've
Well-
not heard from. Were we supposed to hear from somebody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that we
We
haven't
haven't
heard
heard from
from.
yet.
We haven't heard from Lenny Grimaldi.
Yeah, we're waiting for Lenny.
Tony
couple of
Hart
people.
will probably call in a little bit,
Yeah.
I think, according to Alex Taubes.
And you know what? For once in my life, I'm interested to hear what the Hamden Republicans are doing.
Mm.
For once.
Well, Paul had a show on the other day. He had two Hamden Republicans on, and one was low key. I found him interesting and engaging.
Mhm.
The other
That's
one,
what you said.
the other one was just like the usual Trumpian off the wall.
So tell me what
Crazy.
you found engaging about the one. What was he
Well, you
talking
know what?
about?
He was talking about things around. I think because he was relaxed and he wasn't trying to do this double talk.
Mhm.
You know, this force some kind of half truth
Mm.
into a narrative that doesn't make any
So you
sense.
felt like he was being honest.
So I felt like he.
Sorry, I didn't mean for it to be that blunt. But it's like, it sounds like he was being honest.
Concept, honesty, and a
Because-
politician.
Because this is very interesting
Well,
for me.
because Paul was having this conversation, and Paul he's a laid back kind of guy.
Yeah.
Because I would have pressed this
Gentlemen.
Person.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
Because he was trying to make the case that racism had very little to do with anything in America, and I was just
And
like,
I just, so because there are people out there that like to have that type of conversation, and that's a non-starter for me. I'm not going to give you my intellectual energy if that's how you're going to try to play
Yeah.
it. We're not doing that. Harry, like my Harriet Tubman gun is at the base of your skull because you try to play me for a sucker, and we're not doing
and
that.
so every time Paul would like, oh, yes, racism is a documented, he was like, oh, so, well, the black guy over here that's in this for years and years, and he's
It's like,
I was
sorry,
like, what?
racism is a system, and
Sir.
if you can't talk about it like that, we
All right.
have no basis for
Tom
conversation.
Breen should be coming on live video any
Okay.
second now.
Where
Is
is
Now,
it
he?
be on Facebook?
it will be on Facebook Live, hopefully.
Where's
Okay.
he at?
I'm not sure.
Well,
Okay.
he's New Haven, right?
Yeah, he's I'm
New
not sure
Haven,
who's
we just don't know the
headquartered.
location.
Now that Hamden video that failed, it was
Where?
Hamden mayoral candidate J.K. makes
Okay.
makes concessions.
Yeah,
speech.
that
that
was
was
the
it.
Republican.
That was the
running.
Republican.
Yeah, I think he has a real future. I think
He lost.
I know he lost.
Well,
I was
look,
Harry's like,
Look.
his future is nil right
Look.
now.
Justin Elliker lost. several years
Yes,
ago. He's
that is
now
true.
the mayor of New Haven. So
Yeah.
That is true.
nothing is written in stone.
Nothing.
Well, that's what we
Nothing.
said, right? Coming on.
Yeah.
Nothing is written in stone.
That this was
So-
going to be one of those nights.
Yeah, like there was going to be
Everything
some changing of the guard.
Yeah.
that was going to be real possible.
Everything and nothing.
So
Congratulations to Valerie Horsley. Did she win? Was she running in something? She said she won, so I don't know.
somebody tell us what Valerie won.
because she's on her
Yeah.
Facebook page.
Oh,
Can you see?
Let's
She
try to
wasn't-
go to
can
the.
you check that out, Harry?
All right, whatever.
I know Tony
Harry-
Harp is speaking right now. Let me try to
Oh,
get
okay,
to that
let's see.
video.
Can you bring her in?
Listen.
Come on.
Let's hope so.
We have silent air right now, so
Oh,
we should
we
be
don't want
talking.
silent. So we're trying to upload some video.
Or let me at least get the audio.
We're gonna get some
Okay.
audio for Tony Harp. I guess she's making her
Concession speech.
She's at the Elks,
Is that the Elk?
and you know what? The Elks is a pretty good place to be.
There she is.
Oh, she's talking.
Residents continuing success and prosperity. My staff and I are pledged to help prepare a new administration for its duties and responsibilities. For the past 30 years, you all have provided me with the good fortune to serve in elected office. To good effect, I would add. I'm blessed with the opportunity I've had, and I'm grateful in my heart of hearts for the ability that I've had to serve the people of the city of New Haven. For the past 6 years, we've worked together to advance the city well beyond where it was. Those accomplishments are now memorialized in New Haven's history. Each of us can be proud of that as New Haven now prepares to start a new chapter. Without question, among so many accomplishments, what I'm most proud of is our collaboration, is how we've been able to work together so that what we've achieved here in New Haven is really a function of all of you, a function of so many people and the vision that they've had. I expect all of our good teamwork will continue in the future with some new configuration. I expect we'll all stay in touch, and I have every belief all of us will keep working to make New Haven a better and better place. My service to the city and its residents will continue as a citizen, and I will be the mayor for the next 8 weeks. And you know, I'm sure that after that, I will do some form of public service. I maintain a great faith in New Haven. I have every confidence in its future, and I have profound gratitude for the chance I've had to serve this city, this great American city, and I thank you for all that you've done over the years to support me. Thank you so very much.
I tell you what.
Mayor Harp. Mayor Harp, what do you hope your legacy is in New Haven and people remember about your years? You're the first mayor, female mayor of New Haven. It's been 3 terms. What do you hope to leave people with?
Well, I really hope that
The video's kind of choppy, so bear with us here.
Okay.
Is that Sister Emma?
Yeah, she's an all white. That's Emma. So like this is a wild thing for me because Tony Harp has been the mayor the entire time I've been in New Haven.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's the only mayor I've known.
To move beyond what the rest of our city and our state expect.
Is that Joe Ugly back there crying in his beer?
If it is, leave Joe alone.
All right. That's a class act.
All right. So
She was gonna keep it classy. Like it wasn't
act.
ever gonna not be a classy thing. So but it's really interesting because this is I've lived of course in a lot of different places. And
we're not getting the audio
yeah,
anymore.
so we're just gonna talk since we're not really getting any audio at this point, and I think she's answering some questions of the press that's present. But she's been mayor for the entire 5. Like I missed the whole first showdown between her and Justin Elliker. And so she's been mayor the entire 5 years I've seen a lot. Like, people don't understand the blistering pace of things that have happened positively in this city under her administration. That doesn't happen in other places. I've not seen it happen in any of the other places. The stuff that we've seen happen in the last 5-6 years take decades to happen in other places. And some of the places I've lived in the South, like, it's like there's no question about her legacy.
Yeah.
And what it means.
No, you cannot.
There's no question about the type, like, people want to be mad about taxes and all kinds of things. There's no question about what Mayor Tony Harper will be handing off to Justin Elicker in 8 weeks, which is a city that is the crown jewel of the state of Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
So
and it'll be his to tear up. So we'll wait and see how this
I hope he doesn't tear it up, because if he tears it up, we all still live here.
Thank you, Tom Breen, for that video.
Thank you,
Tom Breen. I appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Tom.
I mean, listen, with that kind of talent that she has, and wherewithal, and coolness, level-headedness, that this is not the end of a story.
Oh, no.
It's just another chapter. How many people can go from alderman to state senate, and come back and run a city,
and serving in, like, at the helm of one of the most
30
powerful
years.
committees in the states. Like, the people
For a
don't
very
understand
long
that
time.
kind of
and
power.
look out for this city when nobody was looking out for this city. So she will go. I mean, my belief is that I'm sure Elicker has bigger fish to fry. I don't see him wanting to be mayor for 10 years or 20 years here. I think he has aspirations beyond. And so if he can do a term and get to where he wants to go, fine.
Well, I gotta give
He ran a great. He
ran a great campaign.
Listen, he
not
ran.
for Elicker, I'm saying, but to
He ran
Tony
a great
Hart for the
campaign.
last month of her fighting, still had the eye of the tiger.
She really did.
She
But
really
she brought
did.
it
It was
back.
impressive.
Yeah,
She
brought it back.
She went down to the streets and started talking to the people. She actually connected more
Yeah, I agree.
than I've ever seen her connect with people.
Yeah.
And I think it was good. I think
But she had a
I
new
think
PR person too.
But I think she went out the right way fighting.
No, I think you're absolutely. I think
I
you're
agree
absolutely
with
right.
that, Harry.
Listen, Justin Elicker ran a damn good campaign. He understood where he needed to put his money and his time and his energy. He showed up, sat around the table with the bros. He showed up at every Divine Nine event. He showed up at the blackest
He
of
was
the
at every
blackest.
management team
He was
meeting.
at every management team meeting. But make no mistake, but this is the thing. Men can do that because his wife was home raising them babies.
Yeah, of course. But here's my thing, right?
Passing your finger.
Well, here's my thing. He
could do it.
He ran now. He made all the right decisions, but also people were prepared for change.
I don't know what change.
So
I hate that word.
But
you know why I
it's
hate
true.
that word? Because people
don't make Harry say that Obama ran on
that's
hope
right.
and
Hope and
change.
change.
So
you knew that was
but
coming.
You know what? So he people wanted change. They got
They got
change.
change.
They got changed.
They got changed.
And we're gonna see what that change is gonna
I'm
look
gonna
like.
sit from my porch and watch it all.
I want to know how many.
questions,
I want to know how many of those reporters were downstairs in the
we
Elks
got-
for
we
the
got-
very first time.
Sorry about that.
Who's this?
This is
Elicker?
Kurt Lang, Hamden.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
This is
Hamden.
Hamden.
We got a few videos coming in right now.
Okay.
But let's see this one first.
How was his race? Was it tight or did he swim through?
He was expected to win.
Okay.
Yeah, this was not.
Was run on ideas and was run in a positive fashion and was respectable. And he asked to help the town. He asked.
Elicker's live. You might just. We're listening to Kurt Lang.
Elicker's live. All right, so we're gonna have to cut away from.
All right, Hampton, we'll be back to y'all.
We'll be back. It's not that we don't care about y'all.
No, we
It's
don't.
just we got a new mayor and we want to hear what he's gonna say. Oh, I think Elicker is at next door.
Yeah, we're hearing
next
the
door to
crowd.
Haven.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not a bad place to be.
They have really good food.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to be. That's a good choice for him.
Yeah, he's not talking yet. They're
Okay.
they're gathering.
Does it look
So-
crowded,
so-
Harry?
So yeah, it
I
does
hear
look crowded.
lots of voices because remember the Democrats,
Yeah, all
of
them-
the town committee rallied
All,
around him.
all them turncoat black people in that room.
Oh Lord, Babz.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah, I said it.
And she meant it.
I
And
meant
Babz
it.
was like,
Sit on my porch and smoke a cigar.
It's like, you know where I stay.
Yeah.
See how many people
That's
have
like
been bidding to get on the
Customville.
porch now.
Come through. Come through.
Ivy on Ivy.
That's right. Come through if you feel some kind of way.
Lord
Come
Jesus.
through.
Black Jesus, why? Black Jesus, why?
Yeah. Oh, let's
Okay.
keep talking. So
let's
listen.
listen to Lang.
Okay.
We're gonna listen to Lang, and then we're gonna when Elliker starts talking, we'll cut the
We'll just
Elliker,
cut away.
you know, and just let people hear you know, Justin's perspective on how he wants to move forward in these next how much time with their broken
Wait, was-
machine. They did.
And
Oh no, did you do that, girl?
Okay.
okay,
All right. Well, listen, we're gonna get some change.
that's it. As Harry would say, hope and change. Right?
This is Lang.
Like an eternity and a flash forward of time that I can't really describe, but I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do with it. We have an excellent council, and we're gonna get to work for the people of the town of Hamden. Jody Klaus.
Oh, and this must have been.
Thank you and good night.
We're gonna get working to the people of Hamden. We are going to work for our seniors, and we're gonna expand our senior tax program. We're gonna work for our youth, expand programming and prevention, and we are going to work for our taxpayers, because that's the message that we heard loud and clear across our districts. Brad, are we right? We heard we need some help. We need to find some new and creative ways to help people as best we can to control tax increases and to help people that have lived here a long time to stay in Hamden because they want to stay in this town that they love. I need all of your help to do this. I am exhausted. And if someone said to me, "Are you going to celebrate tonight?" I said, "My
He
celebration."
exhausted because the protesters keep wearing him out.
You know, if you just deal with them
Keep showing up at
protesters,
his town
he
council
might get some sleep
meetings.
tonight, but they're gonna be on his
They gonna be
doorstep
there.
tomorrow. So
Whenever that
just
next
saying.
town council meeting
So
is.
rest up, sir.
What is that? What is that? NyQuil Z?
And listen, he better take a shot. Right. She ain't messing with him. He better rest up tonight. She will be on his doorstep
be on his
in the
doorstep
morning.
tomorrow.
because you know anything about freedom fighters, they got
They
the
don't.
time.
They don't rest.
They don't
I was
rest.
gonna say they don't
rest.
sleep.
God bless them. They don't rest.
They do
Right.
not sleep.
And here's the response that I got sometimes, and it was frustrating. He would say to me, "No, but Kurt, it doesn't matter. Logic doesn't matter." And that's when I started to get disheartened by the whole process. I want logic to matter. I want good debate and discussion.
And you gonna get it
Opinion, but I
with
want
those
us all to come
protesters.
together as people that want to work together and compromise together and get things done. So I hope that's what we're going to look at for the next 2 years. And I appreciate everyone for all of your work, for all of your support. And I want to thank, not least, my family. Now he's dead, man. Now he's dead. My family, my mom, my dad, my wife, my son. I don't know who else is here tonight, but without you, you know, my extended family, you know, all know who you are, who did so much for me during these campaigns this year. I love you all, and thank you very much.
Oh, I forgot about and that's Lang wrapping up his victory speech.
Yep.
Ward 26 results for Alderman. Daryl Brackeen wins.
Okay.
786 votes to 204. I think
And
he had
there
a
was
Republican challenger.
Darnell Golson was on the ballot too for Board of Ed, right?
I believe
that's
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was nobody else. Like there was nobody running
Nobody
against
else.
him.
No,
No.
nobody was running.
Okay.
against him.
So what else did I see on that ballot?
I'm gonna try to see.
I
if,
think all the aldermen
at-
had races, right?
not all of them had.
Not all
But
of
none of
competence-
them had
no, no,
component.
not
I mean, opponents.
opponent.
Yeah.
Let me see if Adam Marshawn should probably be
That
posting
you should
whether-
know what that is by
Yeah.
now. Okay.
whether he
But if y'all are tuned in and y'all still with us, and I know there's like 150 people
like Adam
watching us
Marshawn.
on the
Call
on
us
the
and tell us what your race is. Text me
on the website. Thank y'all for hanging out with the WNHH election night live with Markeshia Ricks, Babz, Rawls-ivy, and Michelle Turner. So hopefully y'all have been like we have, learned a few things about
I mean, about
how these
Connecticut
municipalities
politics.
get down.
Yeah.
And all these 196 fiefdoms of, I mean, 169.
Yeah,
Those little
169
fiefdoms. I was just-
fiefdoms.
I'm like, do we get
that
together and draw
consist of
straws?
Connecticut.
What is happening?
I don't
that
know.
was fascinating. So we're still waiting on mayor.
I will tell you though, I like
Justin
to see.
Elliker to speak.
I prefer to see mayors have four years instead
I
of
was
2.
just thinking that as,
Because
as
I
Lang
think
was
the-
wrapping up
the-
his comments.
Yes, because
I was
2
like, it's
years
hard.
is hard because
It's hard. Like I feel for Justin
You're just
Elliker.
getting
Like
this-
he literally is gonna have like a good year and a half
Right.
before he has to already start
to
campaigning.
amp
Campaigning
this up.
again.
And like
Yeah.
you don't even have any like accomplishments in a year and a half. And like
Yeah.
and like he literally like would be elected and in budget season.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And wait, and then you inherit stuff. And, you know,
Yep.
and people are so, basic that all these problems that the mayor had, they're going
She
to
gonna
become
turn 'em
his
right over
problem.
to him.
Correct.
Like,
Here, baby.
go for it.
Yeah.
So
This is on you.
And people
So there
are
are
like,
some real
why haven't you
challenges.
fixed this?
Right.
Why haven't you fixed
and
this?
I
I've been
still would
waiting
like my
since-
trees cut, my snow shoveled, and my sidewalks fixed.
Yes.
Because
And I want them to pick up my garbage a little bit better than what they've been doing.
Because I've been
'Cause
waiting on this
listen.
since Tony Harp was mayor.
Yeah. Oh, he gonna catch it.
no, some people are still like, yeah, people want to take
Yeah.
it all the way back
Yeah.
to.
But I think the
Lee.
problem I have,
Yeah.
the 2-year terms is that you're always in campaign mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
hard to get things done, and you have to start that whole process.
And it's hard to like really make that good shift from governing
yes,
to campaigning because you're
Yes.
like I still have to run the city. The city can't stop just because I'm campaigning.
Yes.
Correct.
Like I still have to go to all of these events. I still have to show up to all these state things. I still have to show up to like, all of these other like,
Yeah.
and, when I hear people like, after spending some time following politics and like it's hard work. Like, shout out to all the people who do it because it's a lot of work.
it is a lot of work, and he's gonna have his hands full because there's 30 wards in this city, and 30 different issues.
Yeah.
Times
30
30,
times.
even.
30 times 30
Times 30
times 30.
squared.
Like
And that is why they are
it's
called
Tamiko
Public
says, "Hey,
servants."
Soros."
hey,
Soros.
Sarah.
Soros,
Hey.
It's not whatever, Harry.
I mean, hey.
So yeah, she's another one. She worked hard for the Harp campaign. She was out there on those streets,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
pounding those pavements for her.
Yeah.
And God bless her. God bless the mayor for having some energy to just ride this out with a lot of sort of like, you know what? I'm not gonna go down. I'm gonna go down swinging.
Yeah.
Go
Go down to fighting.
And I think history will do well by her. I mean, she had some hiccups, but there's nobody who can govern without hiccups.
Yeah.
No,
True.
there's so people
And
are,
sk-
and this is the thing that always bothers me around the conversation of the kind of I want change folk, is because there's this expectation that whomever is the change agent is going to be perfect.
They're gonna
And
be to
there's
fix it.
there's no such thing as perfection.
Nope.
Nobody is a perfect. Well, I mean, people would argue that Barack Obama kind of walked that perfection line, but there are definitely people who are far to the left of his politics who would not argue that he had a perfect presidency that feel a type of way. Obviously, there are people who say I voted for him and I voted for Trump who clearly feel a way. But no, this political process is not a perfect process. Democracy can be messy.
Yeah,
It's
it
messy
is.
because this isn't a dictatorship. I don't get to tell you what to do, and you
Well,
do it.
It's
it's not
really
a
messy because you
dictatorship.
have the Democrat candidates actually hitting Obama's policies now in the
Well,
debates. So
stop
it's
it,
like
Harry.
insane.
No, I mean, no, there are
So
Democrats who would
perfection
come for.
actually-
So
Yeah.
I mean,
we're
I
not
think-
talking about the
disagree with
party.
that.
Listen,
We're talking about what the great experiment is
democracy
called.
isn't perfection because it is a great experiment.
Yes.
It is
And
a
so
great
we
experiment.
forget that it is an experiment, and so that
And we
with an
hold
experiment,
people to impossible
And
standards.
we
Yes.
forget that we're a
And certain
republic,
people,
not,
no,
not
let me-
just a democracy, right? So
Let
a
me
lot
re-
of people get lost.
Let me rephrase that. We hold certain people to impossible standards. Because
Yes.
let's be clear, our current president clearly we don't hold him to no standard, none.
yes, because this floor keeps
But
going lower and lower.
exactly,
I mean, there is
like
no floor.
there's no floor. There's no floor. We forget
There
the ceiling.
is
There's no floor.
The privilege
So-
God bless
standard.
America.
So we hold certain people, and particularly these minority folk running for office, like particularly these high offices where we're relying on everybody to kumbaya and vote. But we're saying that you have to be damn near perfect
Yeah.
if you want this job. And then if my life doesn't magically change because of your slight lack of perfection, then
I mean,
I'm gonna go
honestly.
I'm gonna take the whole experiment down. We just gonna
Do you want some water?
mix it all. So
Let me serve Harry some
it'll
water.
be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, how the people who wanted change, who wanted Justin to be the next mayor, how they hold him accountable for the things that he promised.
Thank you.
So it'll be interesting. I'll be for the first time in my life on the sidelines watching.
Oh, me too. I'm gonna be watching. You know, I'm gonna
because this is the first election season in 17 years for me that I am not reporting. I'm not running around the street like a crazy woman.
Wow.
So shouts out to all the people
I'm gonna
who
watch
are
from my porch
reporting
for this
tonight.
year.
Well,
and see
Thank
what
you for
happens.
your service. I don't think we say thank you enough to journalists. We don't
No, we don't.
shout them out enough for what they do for
We
our
don't.
democracy, how they are protected by the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants to shout about their guns, but nobody wants to shout about the pens.
Yeah.
Well, this
So,
is the
shout
first
out to
time
reporters.
in probably 15 years that I have done election night.
But it's
Because
weird
I
to sit on
used
the
to-
sideline.
Yeah.
It's weird to
It
not
is.
be
It's
fighting with
weird.
election officials to get results. It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Or making that phone call because I used to run election night.
Damn that.
So I
was
did
like,
all
I need
the
a bike
setup.
ride. I got to
I
get
did-
down to the
Oh my
headquarters.
God.
Yeah.
Like I just, shouts
So,
out to
yeah,
to all the reporters.
I don't know.
who
Is there
are
another
doing
election?
this
And
There's
their
no more
editors.
elections coming up, are there? 2 years from now.
Well, the big.
Well,
I
we
mean,
got the
we got a
presidential
year till
election
the
next year.
presidential election next year.
Oh, yeah,
People are
but
clapping.
Paul's
Let's
not
see.
gonna have us do this.
He might. No, I think he would actually because
Depending on how stuff turns out.
yeah. So
You never know.
Oh, they started clapping, so it looked like.
that's Vinnie Morrow speaking. If you're listening, Democratic Town Committee Chair.
This was a wonderful night here in New Haven tonight. There's a lot of people that won on the New Haven Board of Alders. There's too many to count. But of all the members of the New Haven
said
Board
too
of
many.
Alders that won tonight, please acknowledge them. I don't see you, but I see a bunch of people.
Really?
That's
Tremendous amount of victories across this city
the
tonight.
facial expression.
Adam Marshon won tonight.
All right, so we now know that.
So we know that
Adam
Adam
Alder
won.
Ward 25 has won another term.
Listen, and Jill Marks won tonight. So
Joe Marks Ward, your old ward, right?
So this is
Does she
like
have
I
an
said,
opponent?
this was for those of you who know, this has been a long election cycle and a long
I
time.
think you've been tapped for the
You're
next
booked for the
election.
next decade.
You've got to have some daggone champagne in this
So-
piece.
Well, look,
We're
Roland
gonna have the
Lamar
new
says
mayor-elect walk into this
What does
room in a
Roland
minute.
say?
this is more fun than being in the sardine
Justin
can
put
that is the
together
next door
a
restaurant right
dedicated
now.
campaign
Great job, Babz,
that worked
Markeshia, and
in
Michelle.
every one of these
Thank you.
neighborhoods.
Thank you.
The official numbers have not come
Black
in
girl
yet,
magic.
but we are confident that it's over a 2-to-1 margin of victory here tonight. It was a decisive citywide election. It was a decisive win and spoke to every neighborhood in this city. Justin worked as hard as anyone's ever seen. So it is my absolute pleasure to introduce the next mayor of the city of New Haven, Justin Alder.
Now, Jill, you can stay right there. You're all there.
I don't see him yet.
My dad was holding his back. Jill was all right. Been all right for a long time.
That's Marty Looney.
Well, the Democrats, this is.
I was expecting
They rallied
Justin
as a party.
Elliker. They kept talking about Justin Elliker.
I think, well, according to Roland Lamar, it's pretty tight in there, so maybe they got
Okay.
get.
All right.
And if you remember the space, it's kind of
Yes.
like it's
Yeah.
that big
I
space.
mean, but,
there they are, though.
it's
He's
not
got his
like-
baby with him.
Okay.
Okay.
So parents come up from Canaan.
Oh, you expect that.
Yeah.
Gage looking all spiffed up back there. Gage Frank, campaign manager.
I know you tried to friend me on Facebook.
Gage and I. I like it. Babz like,
I'm not doing that.
Sit in my queue,
Stuff Babz
baby.
won't do.
Sit in my queue.
Right ahead. Show's yours, pal.
Somebody give him a mic, I guess.
Yes, some sound folks.
We did it! We did it!
He's talking about it.
Thank you so much. Has anyone seen the results? Has anyone seen the results? This victory is resounding. Is resounding across the city. And it sends a message. And it's a message for change, but it's much more than that. It's a message, first, that New Haven is a place where everyone has the opportunity and needs to have the opportunity to thrive. New Haven is a place where divisive rhetoric has no tolerance.
And mediocre white man to become mayor.
It says that people are ready for a government that listens, that's more accessible to everyone in this city. And I want to thank so many people that have made this possible. Many in this room and many that cannot hear in that room over there. And many people that are not here tonight.
Okay.
First, I want to thank everyone that's volunteered on this campaign, whether it's your donations, whether it's your
Somebody yell, "You're welcome."
and sweat and labor, whether it's your endorsement. I see a lot of people that came out early and endorsed this campaign and took a risk.
Was
And a
that
lot of
shade to
people
the
that
people who
came out
didn't?
later and
Yes.
still took a risk.
That's what
you
that was?
have made
Yes.
this
He mentioned
campaign
him second.
possible. Not me.
I still
You
think
have
it's
made this
shade.
campaign
I do.
possible. So thank you. Thank you to my staff. We have an incredible staff that I have come to know so well. And they have worked tirelessly and have been underpaid, even though they've been paid more than minimum wage, but they've been underpaid.
Let me clear that up.
They've been underpaid for
quickly.
the amount of work and the emotional energy that they put into this campaign. Kevin and Dominique. Catriella, who's been on the phones, Aaron, Ray, our secret weapon in this campaign, and Gage, my campaign manager.
You gotta give Gage his props.
Oh no! This is a great campaign.
He ran an amazing
Listen.
campaign. That guy's gonna go so far. Yes, people
Espanol.
should be shouting out Gage Frank because he did that.
So
He
why
did.
is it Gage mayor?
Thank
Oh,
you
that's
to
not-
our
he's from
treasurer's
Bridgeport.
team, Melanie, Danny, and
Gage, they
especially
need you
Laura.
in Bridgeport, bro.
Well, first he got to
way
have
he
boots
ran
on the
that
ground.
campaign, he can do it.
He got to get
We're
boots on
asking
the
you
ground to
do
get
this
people
job.
out
Thank
above
you so
20%.
much for your incredible
Well, we
effort.
gonna get there.
You notice that we had no seat complaints.
Got to work on that.
And the other campaign
Gotta
did have a
turn
lot of
people
them.
out.
And that's because our team dotted every I, crossed every T, and worked
Who is that
tirelessly
back
to
there?
make
I
sure
really
that the
need to
countless
know.
donations that came in were done correctly. and I'm deeply
entertaining me.
grateful. Thank you to my mom and
Got
my
like a whole
dad.
image for one lady in the back.
That's all you need is one person, right? And
Who
for
have
them to be near a
probably
microphone.
put in way more effort than anyone else in this room to set us up to for this campaign.
Your son is the mayor of New Haven.
And thank you, especially to my wonderful daughter Molly and my wife Natalie. It is not easy. It is not easy to be on the campaign trail, especially if there are attacks made on you and you're not able to defend yourself. And Natalie put herself out there. She supported this campaign all along. She heard from me every night when I came home to have some complaints, to brainstorm ideas. She's my ethical compass, and I'm so grateful that I'm your husband.
Shouts out to wives. They make the world go round.
Yes, they do.
And Molly and April, who's sleeping now, and Molly wants to sleep. You see your parents, and you realize just how much your parents put into you when you put in everything to your children, and how much love you feel for your children. I'm so grateful that Molly's not
Talk to me about the Board of Education.
I want to talk about Mayor Hart.
He said
I want to talk about
Board of
Mayor Hart.
Education at that moment.
I know.
Hart
I was
called
waiting
me,
for him to have an answer, right?
About 10 minutes ago, on our way over here, and very graciously congratulated me on the campaign victory, and said that she would do everything that she could to make the transition easy and fluid. And so I'm very grateful to Mayor Hart. In the past few weeks, there's been some pretty divisive things that have been said. When
I said half
I think about the future, Mayor Harp is not going to be remembered for these past 3 or 4 weeks. Mayor Harp is going to be remembered for her 30-plus years, her life that's been put into public service.
It's all right, you can say half.
Mayor Harp is going to be remembered. Mayor Harp is going to be remembered for finally taking down that fence that divided 2 communities and was unethical. Mayor Harp will be remembered because she created UStat and made sure that New Haven children that were at the most risk were protected by the city. Mayor Hart will be remembered for ensuring the Q House will be constructed. Mayor Hart will be remembered because of the incredible work that she has done for this city, and I'm grateful to have her as a partner as we move forward into the next steps.
That's well said.
That is well said.
That's well said.
So I want to close by talking about
He talked
tomorrow
about partnering with her
come,
and
because,
looking forward to it. So.
it wasn't easy to get to this point, but now the real work begins, right? And on my travels around the city today, I spoke with a lot of people, and one African-American woman came up to me and said to me, "Don't forget about our community." And it made me think that there are some people that were on the other side of this campaign that think that it's possible I might forget about their community, and that's particularly so in the African-American community. And when I think about the message in this campaign, it was about including everyone. It was about including everyone. Every step of the way, our team and I made sure that we reached out, went to every single event, reached out to every person that called me, that Facebook messaged me, that emailed me. I didn't give out my cell phone number, so I couldn't get in touch with you, and you couldn't get in touch with me. I gave out my cell phone number because I cared that every single person has access to New Haven's government. So I pledge to you tonight, that I'm not going to be mayor just for the people in this room. I am going to be mayor for every single person in this city. I'm going to be mayor for the supporters of the Ellicott campaign, and I will be mayor for the supporters of the Hart campaign. I will be mayor no matter what you look like, where you came from, how much money you have, what kind of political connections you have. I will represent you, and I pledge that here tonight. I need your help moving forward. We have some serious challenges that we're facing in this city.
Like what?
And I know that I can't do this alone. I know that I don't have all the knowledge. I know that I don't have all the tools. And that's why I need everyone in this city to be ready to grab hands together and move forward so that we can improve New Haven and make sure that New Haven is a place where every single person has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you so much. And onward.
Okay.
Well, it's the ball game.
Congratulations, Justin.
That is your
new
mayor.
Does
that make your 52nd?
Your mayor-elect. I don't know.
Because Mayor Tony Harper is the 51st mayor of New Haven, I believe. So that would make him the mayor-elect and soon to be 52nd mayor of New Haven.
Well, I mean, that speech was good.
I thought it was a good speech.
Yeah.
I think he hit all the highlights. I think he made the right conciliatory phrasings.
Yes, I thought that was really good.
To bring people together, and
Yeah.
you know, now the words are done, the actions have to begin.
Yeah.
So get a good night's rest.
I'm looking forward to see who he hires.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely
that's
looking forward
my-
to see what staff
That's
comes
my
on board.
interest.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to
Yeah.
see what that looks like.
That's my
And then
interest.
also-
What, Ife? Oh yeah. Oh, ain't none of them gonna be nowhere. But
which also would be very interesting. But yeah, like see who he has and what his working relationship will be like with the Board of Alders.
yes,
Um,
and the
he is a
Yales
former
and the
alder and
Yales,
The Yales.
The Yales.
the corporation, the hospital, the
Yeah.
university.
Right.
I'm interested in seeing how all that goes.
Yeah, it's a tall order. It is a like being mayor of this city is no small. It definitely
but
is
you
not
know-
6 people in a room getting together to decide if you go
Let's
be a
be
mayor.
let's be real about this. You know, he's met with some major people already.
Oh, of course.
As soon as primary came, so
Yeah.
you know, those
That's just-
introductions have already been made. Instructions probably have been given out. You know, people that he needs to have in his
But
corner
also, I
have been
think-
reached out
Also,
to.
I think what is interesting though is challenging because you know, Kalila talked about it on the show where she appeared on your show, which is that New Haven is an interesting town, and when you're not from here, people like, oh, you only lived here like 20 years of your life or whatever, and they're like, oh, but you're not from here. So loyalties would be interesting. Who's gonna be like, no, like who's gonna come on board? Who like building? He's not a union guy. Like
Yeah.
unions kind of saw him.
But
as
you
his,
see-
a
you
threat.
see them
but you saw
flanking.
the right.
You
Well,
see
that's
some of the
because
higher ups
they're
flanking. I don't know what
staking
that
their-
means
their
for.
place.
Yeah, so but like he might be like, y'all weren't riding for me. Do I want to give y'all jobs so y'all can help your friends run against me 3 years from now? Like I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays
But
out.
it will be. I like to see
because
what kind of.
he's gonna have to figure out who's on his team for real.
Yeah.
Wow.
And who is
and who's
just
going to part the vision?
hugging
All right,
him while
I'm not sure
stabbing
who's
him.
calling in.
All right.
Well,
Well,
they just
answer.
hung
Might
up.
be
Oh, they
Christine.
did?
They just hung up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
And Justin
and-
is the 51st.
Oh, 51st.
And,
Okay, my
He's the
bad,
51st.
y'all.
Tom
First,
Breen
to
said
wrap
that he
it up.
has more live video coming.
Okay.
But for right now, we have
Where is
Sophie.
Tom Breen?
Hey, Sophie.
Hey, Sophie.
That's gonna give us I guess a Hamden report.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay!
So I'm sure a lot of you noticed that the video went out for
Yes.
the concession speech, which was really interesting. So JK didn't give an official concession speech. I'm not sure the reason for that. His family was there. He was there.
Oh, is there some drama about to play
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, maybe. I know. But his family was there, and he was
Cue
thanking
some James
supporters.
Brown, the big payback. You got that, Harry? No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Sir.
No, yeah. But yeah, it was great. They really felt like there's an imbalance there, though, still in Hamden between Republicans and Democrats, and
I'm certain.
they felt like they were excited because they got one more seat of representation, but at the same time, they were kind of disappointed by that, and in the future, they're really hoping for more. So. Yeah.
Sophie, can you tell us how many people currently sit on the town council in Hamden?
I believe there's maybe 15, but right
Okay.
now they have a required 2 of a minority party. So that
Okay.
could be like Working Family Party. But
So did
it's usually
Republicans
Republicans.
hold on to those 2 seats?
Yes, they hold
Okay,
on to
so the
those
Working
2,
Party's
and so
been
now they
gaining
have
inroads.
3.
Okay, so
yes,
this is the
yeah.
third.
Mhm.
But I understand the Working Party doesn't really care if you're a Democrat or Republican, as long
Right.
as you.
No,
as
yeah,
long as you
they
hold
don't.
on to their values.
But I think the Republicans care.
Yeah,
Of course.
They're like, none of that Democrat like over
Yes,
there. We
yeah.
don't like that. That's not us.
Yeah. All right.
These Republicans are marching through.
That's
Yes,
interesting,
yeah.
though. Like if
Hey,
they are
Caroline.
making some,
job.
hey Caroline, if
Those
they're
are-
if they're
alright.
making some inroads in Hamden, because quite frankly, because people are experiencing feeling that like New Haven is getting a bit expensive, we are seeing a number of people from the diaspora moving to Hamden.
But Hampton
they've
has
been
the
there.
highest. They have the highest mill rate in the state.
Right.
They do, which is, but if you're a renter,
Oh
Right.
yeah.
for
Thank you-
renters,
thank you
that
very
might-
much,
Thank you,
Sophie.
Sophie.
Thank you, Sophie. If you're a
For
renter,
renters, yes.
yeah, you might can manage it a bit more. But we've been hearing more about folks moving out of New Haven and
But people have
into
been
Hamden.
moving
But
into
that's
Hamden
yes. Since I was a kid.
1970.
Right,
We
yeah.
came in 1970. And so, I don't think there's anything new in it.
But the intensity might be increasing.
Well, can they do something about the cops that sit on that border?
No, that's the Iran-Iraq border.
But given the current state of affairs between the two towns over what happened with the shooting, they might be willing to concede at least that.
They should. Because they sit on that border like it's Iraq and Iran. Like
absolutely, and that's
they sit
from what
on
I
that
understand
border.
from you all, lifers around here, that's been the state of affairs for a long time.
It has.
I thought what was interesting that Kurt Lang didn't tackle that we're gonna do anything about those relationships.
Oh, no.
He's like, no, we're gonna focus on seniors.
You know why he's tired?
And we're gonna focus
you know
on
why
kids.
he's so tired? Because he's running from all the hard things.
But that's gonna be a major thing that I would think need to address in the next year and a half or so.
If he doesn't, Kerry Washington.
Washington.
Kerry Ellington.
Kerry Ellington is gonna bring it to his front door.
Oh, she gonna do that anyway.
She gonna bring it to his front door.
Because if she don't like what he got to say,
continue to do it.
It's gonna
as they
go
have
down
been.
in the paint.
Yes. And they get a lot of people at them rallies.
They do. They absolutely do. And they have they have an amazing network of people who are about that life. So
and listen, they shut down the intersection.
Oh
right?
yeah.
And what was that this spring?
They're committed to seeing some real change. So shouts out to them.
Well, I mean, they're whether they're forced to it or they willingly do it, it's gonna be done. So
let's do this. First 100 days.
Of whom? Of whom?
So when the handoff happens,
New Haven.
Okay.
First 100 days. What's on the agenda? What needs to be on the agenda in your mind?
Well, I mean, the first 100 days they've got to. He's going to have to deal with that Board of Education.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I mean, he's got to deal with that.
I agree with that.
Does he stay status quo now that they have someone who has kind of steadied the ship or will be steadying the ship at least for the next 8 weeks?
That would only go for so long. The honeymoon period will be over.
Yeah.
Because people going to be.
And people going to be.
She's going to, I think, the current acting superintendent, is going to probably at some point have to make some. Eileen Tracy's going to have to.
She applied for the job.
Well. But I'm saying she didn't apply for this. She was asked to take this on. But I think she's probably going to look at the situation and realize that tough decisions have to be made.
Yeah.
And people are going to want to politicize those tough decisions.
I mean, I think they would do well to sort of, to not make a big deal out of this next search or whatever. Spend some time, allow her to be the interim for however long they can do that. Because they've got to cool some jets.
Yeah.
And I don't think people can go through another search and they just can't. They need some time.
And I think the current staff and faculty that work in the school system also are looking for some
steady
level,
some stability.
Yeah, some stability. They want some leveled peace right about now.
And I don't think I've heard this. I might have missed it because I've been spending my summer pretending I'm like an Amish person in Florida, like retired. Like I've been down in Amish spring break country all summer, and so. Do you think so? Mayor Harp took the approach of saying, if I have to take the hits for being, for what happens in the school system, I'm gonna be active on the school board. And I know that wasn't necessarily the previous position of previous mayors to say I'm on the board.
John DeStefano set himself on the school board,
but that doesn't have there does.
But it didn't usually happen.
Exactly.
That came later in his administration.
So, do you think he takes the active approach?
I mean, I have a couple of thoughts about this. I mean, I know everybody wants to play around with the school board in terms of elected, non-elected, but I think elected is too much of a challenge. I think if you have a mayor who has good, clear thinking about things, then you can allow them to appoint. And I don't necessarily need the mayor sitting on the school board because I think that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much can be done, how effective that is in the overall scheme of things. Clearly, in this instance, I don't know how productive it was, except getting a superintendent that nobody wanted to begin with, but because you are the mayor, you get to say have a greater say in the process, right? So I think that's challenging. I think for the first 100 days. Barring, I mean, you've got, the fire department has to hire. They've got to shore up their numbers. I mean, at any given time, you've got to deal with.
Well, he won't have to deal with contracts, right? Because
No,
they
'cause
settled
that's-
the
No,
police
that's
contract.
already
settled
taken
the fire
care of.
yes,
contract.
everybody took care. So that's quiet for now.
Mhm.
Right.
It comes back around, but it's
Oh,
quiet.
not
It's
coming
quiet
around.
for now.
So I think the superintendent thing. I think getting the Q house finished is going to be a big deal. I think the continuing economic development and those relationships is going to be challenging. And I don't know if he got off to a good foot with the Yales.
Also, explain.
I mean, I think he threw it out there early on that I would
That he was going to go after them.
I would go after them. I'd make them do whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm sure they sat in the ivory tower and laughed that off.
Yeah.
With tequila shots. I know.
Yeah.
Do
Dr.
they drink
Sal-
it? I wonder if they're, you know what? This would be a great fascination if this were true. That every time a candidate said something about doing something to Yale, that the people at Yale just drank. They had like
Well,
a little drinking game.
I
Every time
would
their name
not
came up,
It's like
be
every time we hear Yale.
drink.
Yeah.
So like
Wherever
the
you
president
are.
and all the peeps were like.
The
Alright.
board of governors.
So if anybody wants to slide me the information
we have
that
a phone
there's
call
a
from
drinking
Christine
game,
Stewart.
let me know.
Okay,
Okay.
Christine is back on the block. Hey, Christine.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Congratulations on all the wins.
Yeah, no. So the only surprise here in Hartford, so Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin won, obviously. The
Uh-huh.
surprise here, I'm headed over to the Working Families Party headquarters because one of their candidates lost a seat to
lost
one
a
of these
seat.
independents.
Wow.
So John Gale did not get endorsed by the Democratic Party to run on the Democratic slate, so he formed his own party, a Hartford Party.
A Hartford Party.
A
That is
Hartford
wild.
Party, and the Hartford Party ended up taking one of the minority seats.
Wow. Okay, working
Yeah.
The
party.
Hartford Party. Wow. that thing is fascinating to me.
Although I
Wow.
would have liked a cooler name.
Right?
Well, he named it after himself, so it's quite obvious, right? I am running,
Right.
therefore it is my party.
His name isn't Hartford.
No. But he.
That's it's almost like a play on Lowell Weiker's Connecticut Party.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is
John Dale.
Yeah.
How interesting.
John
How was
Dale
the turnout
Party.
in Hartford?
Yeah. So the turnout was pretty low. It wasn't a very high turnout.
So interesting.
Okay.
I don't know percentages because apparently in Hartford, how we do it is we just wait until tomorrow.
Oh, goodness.
It's so efficient that way.
Yeah,
right?
We'll have
They're
those
like-
results
okay,
to you
so
tomorrow.
there was only 50% of the precincts reporting, and
Okay.
Luke Bronin had 80% of the vote and
Oh.
felt confident
Wow.
enough to come out here and declare victory.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Has his opponent there'd be 1,000 concessions with there. Oh my God.
I know. I was like, I don't think all
How does that
people
even
have
Like,
work?
it's like an AA meeting. Hi,
They should just tweet him. Just tweet him your concession.
Hi, I'm
Like it'll be so much simpler if they just tweet him. Don't call him.
It's like an AA.
He's like, I'd like
convention.
to go to bed tonight.
Hi, my name is John Walker, and I'm conceding. Hi, my name is Sarah Lawrence. I'm conceding. Hey, my name is Debbie Miller, and I'm conceding.
Just put them together in a video, right? Just let the video run.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, everybody who's conceding, right? Say
Stand
I.
up.
I. Like, oh my God. Okay, Hartford. All right. So is your work done for the night, Christina? You got more to do.
No, I think it's done. I'm going to go over to the Working Families Party, Working Families Party.
It's probably not much of
and
a
see
party
how they're dealing
right
with
now.
the loss. I mean, they've had 3 seats since 2007 on the council.
Wow.
So that's,
So yeah, that's
a
kind
good
of
amount
kind of a
time
setback for
to
them.
lose a seat.
But
Yeah.
how old are they,
Yeah.
though, Christine? How old is the Working Families Party? Like, when did they come into existence?
I want to say 2005.
Okay.
And they started out in New York, and then they came and branched out to Connecticut. So it's a labor back movement of progressives. So they're the far left of the Democratic Party.
Okay. And so do they get in a room after this and recommit to whatever it is they believe and and come out swinging again? Like, I'm just trying to understand.
I don't know. It's weird because, like, in local races, so they've been really successful at the local level. There's only about 1,400 people who declare themselves members of the Working Families Party statewide. So what their biggest tool in their toolbox is cross-endorsing candidates.
Okay.
So cross-endorsing candidates in statewide elections allows them to have 2 separate ballot lines.
Right.
And I guess your name being on the ballot twice apparently is something that's a good thing or helps you get votes. I don't know.
Well, I mean, that was the strategy for Mayor Harp going forward after she didn't win the primary. I guess would she have had to have, what would she have done if she had not had that option?
I think she would have
had
had
to
to
been a write-in.
She would have had to petition,
Yeah, I think
right?
she failed to get.
Well, she was the nominee for the Democrats, so a petition wouldn't be in play, would it?
She would have to. The Working Families Party would have had to already have secured some sort of ballot line in New Haven to allow her to run and to claim that ballot line. So once they established with 1% of the vote in the previous election,
that's why
then
they always
can
have
claim the ballot line.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, to maintain the ballot.
Okay, because
right.
I understood from her that her and Justin met with the Working Party.
Okay.
And
folks,
Working Family decided to
and they
endorse her.
decided to throw their weight behind her.
They
But
endorse her.
They endorsed her and then put her on their line, and that's how she stayed on the ballot.
Yeah.
So okay. Well, thank you so much for providing
you,
commentary.
Christine.
This
Thank
has
you,
been quite
Christine.
helpful.
Oh, you're welcome.
Context is everything.
And for educating
Thank
us
you,
about
guys.
how things work in Hartford.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank
yeah,
you.
they're kind of unusual.
Yes.
They're kind of unusual.
So we'll wait for the full story tomorrow.
So make sure to read Christine
Do that.
Stewart in Connecticut.
And Connecticut News Junkie, which I run in the inner city all the time. So
That's
there you
right,
go.
that's right.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you, Christine.
Good luck with
Enjoy
your
the
story.
Working Party's party.
Yeah, have a good time. Thanks, Harry.
All right. Joanne Scully.
Scully. Scully?
Scully. Well,
Yeah.
it comes with an I before the U.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scully.
Scully.
All right. So watching you guys was an awesome reprieve from my nightly view of national crazy politics.
You get local crazy
Get
politics.
local crazy
politics is so much more interesting. Thanks.
You know, I think
Thank
you're
you.
Thanks,
right.
ladies.
Oh,
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
tuning
Thank
in.
you, Joanne.
So I don't know what else more. Who else are we waiting for?
Well, we have not heard from Lenny Grimaldi. Is he out there? Is he all right? What happened?
Hello.
And then did Al have any updates
I
about?
don't know, but we're counting down to 10 o'clock. So.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so we
So
about
I didn't
to,
know if Al had any updates in Danbury.
I don't know. Leave them in the
'cause
comments.
we don't know what happened there. That was expected
we
to be
still
a
waiting.
kind of tight race. So
Yeah.
like that'll be fascinating. And we still don't know what
And that
happened with
was-
Aaron Stewart. Like
Yeah. Hey,
I
Tom
lost my-
Breen. Any news, Tom Breen?
Tom Breen?
Anything else you need to tell us?
He said no. He's
He's like, nah, I'm done.
Like I'm out of breath. So
We're gonna let
He
Tom
needs
Breen
the
catch his breath.
non-t-shirt.
Yes, we need to let him catch us. So we were waiting to hear from Danbury about how that all played out.
Mhm.
We wanted to hear.
Well,
We know Bridgeport.
Ganem was ahead.
Ganem won, but
Yeah.
We don't know
we don't
by
have
what.
nobody there with
Yeah,
any
we don't
video,
have any
right?
results or any
So,
video.
Yeah. So that's. We wanted to hear again from Lenny Grimaldi, and
I don't think we ever heard from Lenny.
I don't think we ever heard from
either.
him.
It might,
We talked to Al, and Al was telling us
Yes.
about Danbury,
Danbury.
yeah.
which sounded
Yeah.
like it was quite the interesting race.
Well,
so
there you-
it'll be interesting to see what happens. So people are going to be waking up to new things.
Yeah.
Yes. Big changes.
Yeah. You know, these
So,
kinds of things
It'll
are.
be it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to watch it all unfold.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be fine. I mean, I guess they'll plan some kind of, inaugural ball because inauguration is always in January,
Yeah.
right? That first day or the second day of January.
Or will he shake it up and say no?
All right, we have
inauguration
Roxanne
ball?
on the line.
Okay.
Hey, Roxanne.
Hello there.
How are you? How you feeling?
I am really happy, and really tired, but really happy.
You're really
Looking
tired.
forward to it.
Do you know your numbers? How many people voted for you? Do you know that?
Well, I don't have the exact number, but I have the numbers, and so it looks like I got the most votes out of all of them.
Woo! Wow. So you mean you should have ran for mayor?
Oh, you didn't play that right.
She's like, hold on, watch me do my magic on the school board, and then watch out.
You said I didn't play that right, huh?
Oh, you might want to be mayor.
She might have played it just right. Watch
All right,
out.
do your
Watch
time
out.
on the school board, and then
Do your time on the school board. When
Then,
look, when you fix the school board, they're gonna crown you Queen of Hamden. So
that's about to happen. We're about to
get ready.
Yes, fix
Fix
that.
I'm looking at the numbers here, and it's
Uh-huh.
amazing. So in the 9th district, the Republicans really came out big.
Wow.
Yeah.
They beat, actually, the Republican candidate for mayor had more votes than the Democratic, and on all counts they beat all the Democrats. And they but then when we look at, and it's not as populous in the 9th district as some of the other districts, but the other districts didn't come out. So that's the
And
thing
what's
right
the
there.
makeup of the other districts?
You know what the makeup of the other districts
Oh,
is.
Lord.
You know, that's right. So now in those other districts, the Dems still won, but I'm just looking at the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers,
The people who turned
were
out
so low. Oh my, so low.
And Roxana, what do people do about this? Like all of the numbers everywhere seem to be pretty down. Like there are thousands of registered voters here in New Haven, and the turnout was pretty low.
Right.
I don't know what
I
it's
think
compared to other,
only-
but like the turnout wasn't great.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of our districts came out pretty well.
Yeah.
But
are those
one-
your higher voting districts generally?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but what's to be done? I mean, I think that attention needs to be paid to that. I think
Yeah, I think we've reached a tipping point with voter registration. I think now we have to back that up with getting people to vote. Yes, voter education.
It's voter education, getting people politically minded, politically active. Because today I heard so many interesting comments when people were going in to vote. They're walking past, not getting any information, and saying, "I don't even know who I'm going to vote for." And so,
Crazy.
I know that happens a lot. I know we're busy, but man, we've got to change that. We got to know who we're voting for and why we're voting. And then the same thing about, people will go in and just vote their party, but not know one thing
About any of the
anyone stands
candidates.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'd love to work on those issues, because I'd love to see more people become active in the Board of Education. Just like we have Board of Education meetings and people don't show up and they're open to the public. So, we have to pay more attention.
That's not New Haven. That is not New Haven. I feel like I want to serve cocktails at the New Haven Board of Ed.
You should serve dinner. That's how long they're there.
Have a good old fashioned
Lord.
fish fry in the parking lot.
You can make a lot of money on like a
Girl.
rib dinner.
All right. Well, I'm glad you did well.
Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Roxana.
I'll see you Friday on the porch, I suspect.
And get some rest.
And
Yeah.
we'll toast you. Get some rest. Put
Get
your
some
feet
sleep.
up. Say hi to everybody at your house.
Well, what kind of food you gonna have?
Look, we gotta find somebody to cook again.
Now I know, right? Now you gotta go find some. Maybe Harry. Harry will come.
Come through, Harry.
Ooh, all right. Get some rest, my dear.
Absolutely. All right.
And congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
All right. All right.
But I think
I'm
I think
super
the
excited
point-
about her. Can we talk about that? Like she's amazing.
Yeah, she is
I
amazing.
think the point is though, and this goes across country, not just of course for New Haven and the state. People have to understand what their vote means. I don't think people are clear as to what a vote does for you in your neighborhood. I just don't think that people attach any importance to it other than they know that you're supposed to go out and vote. Well, why?
Well, there's a disconnect somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's, to me, it seems that's what it is. Because I
wants to
know
do it
I
now,
had talked to someone and we had a conversation in regard to just what does your vote get you? And they had not a clue. So I really think it's important that people understand not just going out to vote, but what that vote does for you.
Okay.
And just along those same lines, because like even thinking about our hybrid board of education, like there are so many complaints about the board of education.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 elected positions.
I know.
Like,
Right.
people don't really put on any effort to run for those positions. Like I've been surprised. Like there should be, like all those same people who run up to the board of education to be mad.
Yeah.
Run
Yeah.
a campaign.
Run.
Right.
Put together a campaign and run. If you don't like you actually have an opportunity at representation, run. And Roxana nailed it. She the only person who got more votes than her was the town clerk. and nobody was running against the town clerk, but everybody voted for her. She got 9,100 votes.
Oh, jeez.
Roxana got 7967.
What are we doing,
We
Harris?
got one last
So
call.
she killed it.
One last
Okay.
call. Who is it?
Sam, the reporter from
From
here.
Hamden.
Sam
Oh,
Gertz.
Sam
hey.
Gertz.
Hey, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
Sam, why has
Hey,
the Republican not
Crispy.
conceded?
I know. What we heard, it was some kind of quasi-hybrid
Situation. Sam, you still there?
Yep.
Yep.
So what happened?
What's going on?
So Len won with a pretty large margin,
Yep.
which is not entirely surprising in Hamden, given that it has 17,000 registered Democrats to
Mhm.
about 4,000 registered Republicans.
Mm.
But Kay did get, I believe, around 40% of the vote.
Yep, that's what we're showing on our website.
Wow.
As we're showing, yeah, which is
Significant.
much larger, which is significantly larger than the Republican last time.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Hamid in 2017 got about 2,000 votes,
Mhm.
and Kay got 4,500.
Wow.
So I was just speaking with Frank Lador, who's the RTC chair, and he sees it as progress for Republicans in Hamden.
Interesting.
But at the same time, Democrats, I think, are pretty relieved, and they had a very strong showing, especially with some fears about Working Families Party candidates splitting the Democratic vote. Turns out that didn't end up really affecting the results at all.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so
For
much.
that astute analysis.
We appreciate that.
That was
Thank
wonderful.
you, Sam.
Thank you,
You
Sam.
know, we'll see you later.
Well, thank you.
Get some
You're
rest.
welcome.
You did an amazing job.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Thank you.
Oh, just
Good night.
aside from nothing going on in Connecticut, Democrat Andy Beshear has knocked off Kentucky's Republican governor Matt Bevin.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
Back to Hamden really quickly. We wanted to know what Valerie Horsley won the
Yes.
District 4
Right.
seat
Yes.
Okay.
in Hamden.
We have Chris Peak.
Hey, Chris.
She killed it. 63.
Hey,
Point
Chris
one
P.
Hi.
We've
This
been
is
waiting
the first
What
for
time
you
you.
I'm
been
on
up
radio,
to?
So I just got back from the Elks Lodge, where it was a very somber
Somber.
party
Yeah.
with quite a few tears.
Oh.
Especially from Emma Jones, who
Oh,
was
yeah.
the chair of the whole People's Campaign. It was her
Yeah.
idea to have
Push
Mayor
forward,
Hart,
yeah.
Yeah.
keep going with this. So she
Yeah.
was really shaken up and couldn't even talk to me for a couple minutes, just kind of getting herself together. But the main thing that she said was that the civil rights movement wasn't just about getting the right to vote, but it was about getting leaders from our community
Representation.
into these positions of power
Mhm.
so that they could actually do things and affect change, and to have what she said is, we're losing that tonight, and that's what this whole People's Campaign was about. So I was, moving to hear that, it really was something that fit in this whole legacy of the civil rights movement that she felt like she was fighting for and defending tonight.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. Did anything surprise you about what happened?
There's still a lot of resentment against Elliker for those flyers, and perhaps even more against the Democratic Party for turning on her. They're saying the People's Campaign is going to continue with loyalty and trust being kind of the main values that they're going to support people based off, which doesn't really translate into a policy platform per se, but they're saying that's the main thing they're going to be looking for.
So they creating their own party? Because we've been
It's
hearing
kind of
about that
getting
in
to that
Hartford with
point.
people
Yeah.
creating their own parties.
It's kind of getting to that point. They're saying they're going to focus on registering people for the census next year.
Okay.
At the same time, they're going to have voter registration forms in hand too. And then from there, they started whispering to each other, actually, like, here's our secret plans. But didn't tell me about them.
It wouldn't be any fun if it wasn't a secret plan.
They're like, don't tell that Chris Beak. He knows everything.
Whatever you do.
So that's only, I mean, it was pretty expected. There's a lot of anger, a lot of tears. And yeah, secret plans to come.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll be on the lookout for the secret plans and whatever you write tonight.
I'll be on my porch and I'll wait for them.
Because Babz, you're going to get the secret plan.
I was going to say, Babz will get the text.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Well.
All right. We're actually.
I think our work here is done.
A couple of seconds before the
10 o'clock?
station ID.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody. This was fun.
Playing in these election streets with us.
Yes. Thank you for watching us and listening.
Thank you for those of you who participated in this process.
Good questions.
Commented.
Bring your friends next time. So there'll be more people voting and exercising.
So we'll count this as a win too.
Yeah. And maybe we'll be back for Elliker's 100 days.
MHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting from New
And stay
Haven,
tuned. There's a very important show coming up. National news.
Okay, bye, Harry. Breaking news.